Stripping?
Stripping.
Always on time. Oh, 2:22, just like we planned. Perfect.
Oh, nice. That's actually pretty cool.
Where is Roy? I don't know. Where is Roy? Roy's the man.
Roy is probably passed out right now. Because Roy, you might think the 24-hour stream was crazy, guys, but Roy basically did like a day of work, then he came home, then he went 24 hours with me as well. So Roy is pretty goddamn
He went
hardcore.
24 hours with you?
Yeah, he took a small nap during it just to like recover because nothing was happening in World vs. World. But then he went hardcore, man.
You played Firebrand, I'm guessing.
I played Firebrand, Scourge, Weaver, Holosmith, and Spellbreaker. Those are the World vs. World classes I wanted to try out.
Wow, you didn't play the best class of all, Soul Beast. How dare you?
I would have done, and I was really tempted to, but it turned out that the most important stance was bugged. So
which one?
Yeah, well, it's still not even good, but we'll talk about that.
The Doliak one.
How's it bugged? What happens?
It just doesn't apply any boons.
It doesn't give you stability.
Which is
just out of nowhere.
Kind of important, turns out.
Yeah. Well, speaking of which, actually, I think Firebrand is also kind of bugged at the moment with Permeating Wrath. I think it's currently not applying the way it's supposed to apply.
Yeah,
is my guess.
It still how do you mean? It still applies 2 seconds, right? Is what
exactly.
what you're getting at?
So yeah, the tome says it's 1 second base,
but it's 2
but
seconds.
in PvE or World vs. World PvE, it says it's 2 seconds when you use Permeating Wrath for some reason.
Yeah. Well, I think
in PvP, it's 8 seconds when you use Permeating Wrath.
Woo!
Well, sorry, 4 seconds times 2.
With your duration, your duration, right?
Yeah, so it's weird that it's applying the old non-tome durations just by using a trait. It doesn't say that with this trait you're now getting the old durations, so it's kind of weird that it's doing that. Right?
Well, I think it's because of just the way it's coded, right? It's casting what it does is it like replaces your justice with a new spell, right? It casts,
and the new spell did change.
Yeah, the new spell doesn't change. Yeah, so I think it might stay like that. It's really. Why do you think they changed it? Why do you think they changed it to 1 second on Firebrand?
Because the Tome of Justice does a lot of burning.
Yeah, but why change the passive? Like the passive, 1 second is absolute trash.
It is. It's very, very bad. I think it's because they wanted to, with Firebrand, they knew that they were going to have a class that's going to be very good at PvE DPS, like ridiculously good at PvE DPS with all those burning spells, especially with that one master trait that gives you 2 stacks of burning for each of your tome skills. And they knew it was going to be really strong, and they were like, okay, this is too strong. How are we going to dial this back? Oh, I know. Let's dial back the...
Let's make it useless.
The passive. Let's make the passive dialed back so that it's not like the old core, the core Burn Guardian that improves dramatically with each additional person. It only improves slightly with each additional person now with this thing.
Yeah. I think
I don't like it. I don't like it.
Well, yeah, I thought because that's a really fun gimmick to have, right? And
yeah, it's a great gimmick.
Yeah, I really like that. But it's kind of the least of Firebrand's troubles, really, though, because you still spike an insane amount of burning, right? Like it's not the passive. It's not the passive that's going to get you. It's just the insane amount of burn that just will instantly be on your enemy, right? That's what's going to get people. And it's great. It's really quite strong, actually. Burn Firebrand. We all saw it in the guild chat, right? He was able to spike, nearly 20 burns on a huge amount of golems instantly.
That was like a 10k burn.
Yeah, like instant huge burns, like that was comboing the tome and the mantra, right? With the burn mantra with the improved stuff on there. So I don't know, guys. Like I really hope that, just as a general statement here, guys, ArenaNet, this is me talking directly to you. When the game comes out, just let me play in World vs. World with the elite specs as they are now for 2 weeks, and then you can just destroy them. Okay. All right.
No,
okay.
Well, I don't know about that.
Just let me play.
Maybe for the ones that you like, because some of them are not so good. Okay. Some of them need some help.
Yeah, that's true. There are some. There's quite a lot of them that are a little bit undertuned. But
I would say Soul Beast is a little underwhelming for me.
Pretty much all the ones that I like are terrible.
I don't know. It depends. I mean, in what game?
Which ones? Which ones are you talking about?
Which one should we talk about? Let's go, Inks. What do you think?
Well, I don't know. Where do you want to start? Where do you want to
Well,
start?
which one?
I'm
well,
asking
you're
for
a
you, which
ranger
ones do
main.
you feel are
So
underwhelming?
Soul Beast.
Soul Beast.
So
Yeah, fair enough.
so my initial impression of Soul Beast was kind of a meh. This seems okay. But the more that I thought about it, the more other streamers I watched who are Rangers, not just Roka, but a number of other people as well. It has some problems. It has some not so good issues. I was even watching like Fantaram and some of those guys who were streaming. Nas, I was watching the great and powerful Nas who was streaming on his Necro there. Feels good. And range like Soul Beast is just like I don't know, what are the tiers? S tier, A tier, B tier, whatever, right? Ranger is like not so awesome. It's not near the top.
Yeah.
It's not near the top for PvP. And in World vs. World, which is where I was really hoping that it was going to shine, because you get rid of the pet, which is a big problem in World vs. World. Again, it's like mediocre bad. It's just not. It's just not going to shine, and a lot of that has to do with the stances. Let's pretend for a minute that Yak stance wasn't broken or bugged, because that'll be fixed, obviously. You're still looking at a stance that has a 30-second cooldown and gives you 6 stability. I mean,
Yeah. The lack of the lack of a stance cooldown rate is really hurting Soul Beast, at least in World vs. World.
Do you think that the reason why the stances are all a tiny bit underwhelming is because they knew they were going to include that trait that shares the stances out to all the friends, and they can't make it too good, otherwise it'll be way too powerful when you share it out to all the friends?
But even when you share it out, it's still worse stability than a base Guardian gives.
Yeah, that's true.
You never take a Soul Beast over another Guardian.
Yeah, here's the thing, right? There's a lot to compete with on that. The trouble is that Guardian, if we're talking in a World versus World context, let's just think about let's see what Guardian does. So Guardian is beefy. It's a heavy class, right? It has very high AoE healing. We've got our healing breeze. We've got the dodge. We've got a huge amount of boons: protection, regeneration, might, CC. You've also got Aegis as a nice little bonus there. It can also do decent damage with Purging Flames, Mighty Blow, all that good stuff, right? You've got Immobilize, they got strong CC, we've got the Immobilize, we've got our line on the staff, we've got Ring, all of that with the stability package, right? And then you look to Soul Beast, Ranger, which has the stances, and that's basically it.
Yeah, and the stances are underwhelming. And on top of that, too, the heal, the bear stance heal, which at first I was excited for because it removes conditions. Conditions are a big problem for World vs. World. Again, it's just the heal on it is so underwhelming. It's just bad. It's just not very good. And even if you want to swap to, let's say, and that's from like a Zerg mentality, right? That's from a Zerg World vs. World perspective. If you want to talk about the roaming perspective, things look a little bit brighter because you have some really sort of one-trick pony builds with Sikkim and Longbow at range, where you can like burst people down really quickly. So it's not all super terrible bad news, but the stances in general for any game mode, because of the cooldown, the general uptime of those stances is really bad.
When you share out the Doliac stance, is it also a stun break for everybody else?
I don't know, because it doesn't work.
No, I don't think so. I don't think so.
I think it just shares the stance of it out as well. There's another thing too. There's a couple of other problems as well. If we want to look at a PvE perspective for a second with Soul Beast, and we haven't even talked about Beast Mode yet, which is actually not as bad as the stance issue is.
No,
but if you want to look at PvE from the PvE perspective, they basically nerfed Condi Ranger so that Soul Beast could be Condi Ranger. Like, obviously because of the way they had the demo set up, which is kind of terrible. We're not going to have exact numbers, but this looks like it's going to be slightly better than Condi Ranger was before they went and nerfed it.
Probably.
Kind of seems pointless.
They nerfed core Burn Guardian for PvE, and in order for Firebrand to be good.
Right, but Firebrand
was going to be good anyway.
Not slightly better, but really good. And even then, if you look at Soul Beast, maybe you take Vulture stance, maybe. But you're probably just going to take Fire Trap over it instead, which means nothing changes there. And you might take one Wolf Pack, which is the elite stance. If you're not a Sylvari, if you're Sylvari, you probably still take the Sylvari thing, right? And Dagger might be slightly better than Axe, but I don't know. Dagger feels a little underwhelming. The auto attack feels a little bit slow on it. Like, these are all numbers things, right? These are not things that can't be fixed, by the way. These are just my observations from playing with it.
Someone just said Raw Gazelle 10 on 10 pet not broken. Oh yeah.
Well, and then there's another bug too with the Gazelle where it's not working properly and it's like one shot running.
It just one shots people. It will insta get you for 50k damage. It's really good. It's beautiful. Just beautiful.
There's another thing too that is maybe semi exciting about Soul Beast, and that is power in PvE could see a resurgence. Perhaps. I don't know that it will be quite as good. I think it might still be slightly worse than Condi Ranger, but that build setup could be a lot more interesting to play from a play perspective because of one Wolf Pack, for example, and things of that nature. So it's not all doom and gloom. It's a bit under, compared to some of the other elite specs we're going to talk about, Soul Beast is a bit underwhelming. And Ajax brings up a really good point, too, about the fluidity of beast mode, right? It's really not. I don't think the fluidity is too bad, but when you're talking about a smooth rotation, as far as pulling it off on a golem, or when you get into raids and you're trying to keep that rotation up, which inevitably fails for most people, that there's going to be a bit of like the fluidity is not going to quite be there, right? It's going to be a little bit off, I think. People.
So I'd say you're right. Overall, the stances are a little underwhelming, but I'd say like the stance heal is pretty damn good for you. The stance heal seems pretty strong. No, the 5k base plus 400 per condition remove, and you remove 2 conditions each second for 4 seconds. That's a very strong heal, isn't it?
Yeah, it's extremely powerful, especially if you share it on your allies as well.
Yeah,
right. It's very good, and here's the thing, right? The effects in themselves are actually very powerful. If we look at the Doliac stance, right, you gain immunity to the moving impairing conditions, right? Okay, if you look at the Moa stance, you get 66% boon duration. Right? That's a very strong effect. Then we look at the Elite, which gives you like an extra little plink every time you get a hit. In a stance sharing situation, this is very, very powerful, right? And then what's the last one? What does the Vulture one do? Does it like apply condies or something?
If they're above 50% health when you're attacking them, it gives you might for each thing hit, and it poisons them for each time hit if they're under 50%.
Yeah. So again, that's a strong effect when you have 5 people with it, and the heal again very, very strong. Yeah. But the thing is, in some situations, like it's not really going to be enough, and the cooldowns are very harsh as well. So like there needs to be some the cooldowns need to a little bit.
Like the Vulture stance, for example. You're probably going to see about 6 stacks of poison out of that.
Why?
That's because that's how long it basically lasts in a given situation.
The interval is every half a second, though, so you could get up to 12 or 13 stacks.
No, you won't. I've tested it.
But you technically could.
What if you're not?
You could if you timed it with if you're on short bow or something. Like if you're on the short bow, you could get a lot of very quick hits in, especially with quickness, right?
Yeah.
And if you're sharing that to allies as well, then
maybe with quickness, right? But I'm talking about without quickness.
And if you're sharing it to allies, that's an extra possibly 5 hits of poison for each ally.
Basically, right now, the Fire Trap was doing way more than Vulture Stance.
Oh, even with sharing it?
Yeah.
Even with sharing it? Oh, well, rip.
Well, I mean, I don't know about sharing it to a group of people, but just for yourself, because what are the traits? What are the traits you're giving up for sharing it? You're giving up oppressive superiority, which is pretty
good.
Good
Trait.
Well, isn't that? I mean, in PvE, that's not going to be good though. Like, doesn't the target have to have less health than you or something?
Yeah, it's a very bad trait in PvP. PvE, I mean, because you only do increased damage to them when they're below your health.
Below
your health is very low.
Compared to the boss's health. So, I mean,
it's a terrible trait for PvE. I guess it's only for PvP, but it's also weird for PvP. Like Nike was talking about this too while on Twitter. It's a weird trait for
Oh,
PvE.
it's percentage based. It's percentage based. So it is
Yeah,
good then.
it's
It is
percentage?
actually good then.
Oh, okay,
Right.
because that's what I was
So
hoping it was going to be. Okay, good.
right, but it's yeah.
Yeah, okay, fair enough. If it's
So
percentage based, then yeah, 10% for hopefully your entire fight.
Yeah,
probably
okay.
the whole fight.
Fine then. The stances are trash. Fine then. Well, it's
Yeah,
all
okay.
go.
That's
In
what I was hoping it's
PvE,
gonna-
it's all trash. Fine.
The other thing too is I will say this though, it's percentage based. The other thing I'll say about this though is the pet wise, soul beast wise, or beast mode. I keep wanting to call it soul beast wise. Beast mode wise, they did a pretty good job with the pets, with the exception of one or two. Let's forget Gazelle for a minute because it's bugged. But the Jaguar pet seems to be misplaced as well.
Oh yeah.
It's not a ferocious pet. It gives vitality and concentration.
Oh.
Which is a bit strange. I don't know why that is exactly, but anyway, my point with Soul Beast is, and don't get me wrong, I'm still hopeful for Soul Beast. PvE wise, I think it's still going to have a strong spot. Like I don't think it's doom and gloom. It's just that as an elite spec as a whole, the stances are super underwhelming. They don't really work that well. Dagger is a meh weapon. It's okay. It might be better than Axe, turns out, but it's not really that exciting, to be quite honest. And maybe there's some exciting gameplay with the power side of things. That sort of needs some obviously more testing. But I think stances in general need to be re-looked at for Soul Beast.
Maybe
in a pretty big way.
Maybe duration or something. I would say I agree with you a little bit about the stances. There are some highlight stances in there that are very good, though, like the heal one, for example. But for me, for all of these elite specs, it's less about the individual like utility skills or whatever. It's about the core mechanic of the elite specs that does it for me. That makes me decide if this is a cool elite spec or a good elite spec or not.
Okay, and so let's look at that for Soul Beast.
Exactly, that's what I was gonna say. So
let's do it. Let's dive in.
At that.
Let's dive in.
The core mechanic.
So the core mechanic is Beast mode, right?
Right.
Okay, so Beast mode, generally speaking, works really well. The problem is when you take it into these other modes, Beast mode is going to play a pretty small role overall. Like in PvE, let's say.
Why is that?
Well, you're going to go into Beast mode, which gets rid of the pet, right?
Yeah.
And you're going to want to swap in and out depending on when you need to CC things as a ranger.
Or do extra damage maybe in some cases.
But from a Conde Ranger perspective, it doesn't actually change your gameplay, really. It adds a couple extra buttons you need to press to do slightly
APM
better
increase,
damage
man.
than before.
APM, get that APM increase.
I mean, I don't know. I just don't. It's a cool gimmick, but it's not. I don't know. I don't think it's. I'm trying to be positive about it, but it's like, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess it's just like maybe it's not for everybody because I think a lot of rangers like their pet and like to have their pet out all the time. But I think there was a lot of rangers who wanted the ability to stow their pet.
I did too. I absolutely did too.
And have that be good for your guy, and I think that's exactly what this does. So maybe as a whole, as a interesting design choice for an elite spec, it's a little underwhelming, but it's exactly what people were wanting. So it's kind of weird. It's kind of, I don't know. I think you're right. I think that the Soul Beast part needs to feel a little more fluid in that, like maybe people were asking about being able to swap guys while you're in Soul Beast mode, swap pets while you're in Soul Beast mode, so you could switch between the two skills rather than having to come out, swap pets, come back in. So that could maybe change it for the better. Could make it a lot better. I don't know. I gotta tell you, as a mechanic for an elite spec, it's not more underwhelming than a lot of other elite specs out there. Like it's definitely not more underwhelming than like Berserker, for example. I'd say it's way more interesting than Berserker. It adds a lot of skills. It has a lot of skills to your ranger. I was hoping that was going to be a little more intricate, the skills. When I moused over all the skills for all the pets, There was a lot more doubling up, a lot more of the same skills than I thought there was going to be. But and it really makes you look at them and see, ooh, the HOT pets and the POF pets are like maybe not a lot better than the core pets, but they have a lot more interesting skills. Some of them definitely are.
Some of them are by a lot.
Some of them are, but but on top of that, they also have more interesting beast skills. So it makes you think, oh yeah, you really need the both of the because the bristleback, for example, is the only one that has a it's not a beast skill, but it's a beast mode skill that gives you a lesser version of sharpen whatever. Sharpen knives.
Sharpening stone, right?
And it's a unique one too. So like you could stack the two. Every hit you do does 2 additional stacks of bleeding on your target for the opening of the. So I was trying to make a burst build with that. It's possible. You could do that easily.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, to be fair, on ArenaNet's part, there's a lot of pets. You don't like. I guess I didn't really think about how many pets there were because most of them are useless pre-Soul Beast. Like a lot of them, you just would never take any game mode for any reason. But I guess that'll still be true with Soul Beast, though. There's a lot of them that have so many copied over skills that you just won't really look at them.
Yeah,
at first, it looks overwhelming, but yeah.
There might be niche things now, because the interesting thing is about Soul Beast for me is pets have always been all about the skill you can use on them. The F2 skill that you could actually use as a utility, as whatever, and maybe because of the basic damage they do in general. But since they had other skills tied to them, but since you can't control them, it was never really something I thought about for a fight in PvP especially, but also PvE. Well, it's not something I really thought about as a bonus to these things because you can't control them. I should have been.
You can control them to a certain extent. You can control the pet to a certain extent. When you swap,
what skills they use. Also, if you swap and then
sort
they
of
rotation.
Yeah, the swap. Right. Yeah. So for Rangers previous to this, it was important to know what ability they use when you swap over to it, because that's pretty important actually. And then of course the F2 skill. I will say this too with the new pets, the Iboga could be a lot of fun for World vs. World because it can pull. It's got a 1200 pull. It can pull things off of the side of the walls and stuff. Cool. So that's actually kind of fun to play with. It's not something Rangers really had before, but so that was fun to play with.
Mm-hmm. That's I think the main cool thing about Soul Beast for me is that it gives you access to so many more skills that you didn't have before. And
I wish we could pull in beast mode, but anyway.
I think there's definitely some usability issues with regards to Soul Beast and some of the very powerful skills like AoE resistance on the pet skills. Like, that should probably have the cooldown reduction as well, or at least the duration's changed. Because right now the skill is kind of high impact, but it has a really long cooldown. A lot of them as well. There are some issues there, but I mean there are still some really cool things you can do. Some insane great sword bursts, a great sword troll burst. I can get some really really high crits in PvP. And in PvE, the damage is going to be fine. You're probably not going to see use out of the stances, which is kind of a shame, right? Because it's a really stance sharing is a really cool concept, I think, and it's a shame that it's probably not going to be a thing in its current state, but I actually would predict that they're going to adjust the tuning here a little bit. I would say like they're going to be cooldowns, are going to be tweaked, values are going to be tweaked, all of that stuff. But yeah, like as you say, some usability issues to be addressed with regards to swapping in beast mode to try and get to the other pet, stuff like that. And with the hotkeys as well, like people are not, as was mentioned previously, they want the hotkeys arranged in a slightly different way, right, to kind of jiggle that stuff around. But this is the first time like we've really got to play with this, right? So it's not really a surprise that there are going to be some hiccups like that with regards to
it's not the end of the world, and a lot of this stuff that I've complained about is a numbers thing, and numbers can always be adjusted, and they will be adjusted. It'll be interesting to see what comes to the demo weekend for some of these classes. So
I gotta, to be honest with you though, I kind of agree with you. Like as I was going through every single elite spec, Soul Beast on the surface seemed the most underwhelming to me.
One of them.
Compared to all of the other ones, but I feel like it has a lot more depth that we haven't really seen yet.
Yeah. It's one of the less.
Sure would have been nice to have a PvE golem.
The thing is, that would have been really nice, though, right? That would have been really, really
nice.
nice. So we can actually see the true potential of it in gear that isn't like horrifically scaled down with proper buffs and hitboxes, right? And that didn't happen, and we're gonna have to wait, I guess, quite a while until we actually get to play with that stuff. But yeah, it's certainly a shame, and as you say, yeah, it's probably one of the less interesting class mechanics compared to some of the other ones we've got. I would say that all of the others are kind of really cool, I guess. Weaver is really, really cool. Deadeye is kind of cool.
Either really cool or really powerful.
Flashy.
Yeah, flashy, and they change stuff, right? And stuff's very, very different around it. It really switches up the gameplay, so... Yeah.
So what do you guys want to talk about next?
Well, I mean...
Firebrand.
Firebrand?
Man. So that I can have a break and you two can talk for 20 minutes.
Oh, man, okay. This class... This class is like Base Guardian, except way better. That's what it is. It's amazing. This class is insane. The tomes are absolutely ridiculous. The tomes are absolutely crazy, dude. Like it's actually really funny because until now, Base Guardian has been a very kind of linear, especially in World vs. World, a very linear way of playing. Like, okay, I'm going to immobilize stuff. I'm going to CC stuff. I'm going to give my team stability. I'm going to cast Mighty Blow. I'm gonna, dodge all over my team, and I'm gonna use my virtues, right, to cleanse and give people buffs. But now, every single skill you have is so amazing, it's actually hard to decide what to do next. There are actual choices you have to make in what skill you're gonna use next because of how amazing they all are. It's probably gonna get nerfed, I'm not gonna lie. But the thing is, it does so much damage. It heals so much. It gives so many boons. Like, it's actually genuinely difficult to actually use weapon skills because of how powerful the tomes are. Like,
it's like kits on drugs.
Yeah, they're amazing. Yeah. The tomes are insane. Like, and I wasn't even on dedicated damage gear. Right? I was on a Celestial Firebrand with some kind of wonky stuff because I didn't have it, fully set up because I wasn't on my main, right? So I wasn't able to get all that stuff. And the damage is insane. Like, you can deploy these huge fire fields. Just the auto attack does a massive amount of damage, man. With a huge amount of damage just on the auto attack. You spike burns all over the place. You're stacking a huge amount of burns. No duration. Just with Sally gear. You're doing a huge amount of damage. You're getting 2-3k burns just with the auto attack and the 2 skill. You've got extra CC on the pull. You've got fire fields. You've got like the virtue of justice.
Fire field.
Yeah, you've got the virtue of justice on drugs, like on the 5 skill. You have when you on the F1 tome, right? You use it and you give 5 allies 2 charges, right? And that just the spike you get off that. Oh, sorry, 3 charges. So you get the 2 is the trait, right? And then you have that trait as well. It's like, wow, everything's amazing. And the quickness, one Guardian is like nearly 100% quickness uptime if you play your cards right. With 2 Firebrands, it's 100% in a World vs. World group, obviously.
I think you could do it. Oh, in a group, yeah, but you could do it 100% quickness to 5 people.
I actually think with 1 Firebrand, if I had my concentration, I didn't have my concentration sigil, right, or enough boon duration, right. If I had a concentration sigil, you can probably get 100% quickness. Just with 1 Firebrand, I would say, because of the interaction with Stand Your Ground, right? I'm not sure if that's intended, though, just to kind of put that out there.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, I'm not sure if it's supposed... Because, let's think about it. If you get up to 100% boon duration, which you do with Durability Runes, Muscle Snash Blade, some other kind of missiles, maybe a few, like, Seraph pieces in there or something, which maybe you mix that in with a Celestial, I think, maybe, to get that extra boon duration. Then with the... Concentration, so Rev, Durability Runes, that's 100%, right? Then you use Stand Your Ground... And that stacks 20 seconds of quickness. On 5
What about the alacrity?
In 1 click. No, I'm talking World vs. World. I'm talking World vs. World here.
Oh, okay.
And then you could just do, what's it called? Feel My Wrath for an additional 16 seconds or something like that.
You're still going to want the renewed focus. There's no way. Refreshing those tomes. Refreshing the tomes is obscene. Genuinely disgusting.
Yeah, but if we're talking about yeah, you're right. But I was just talking about trying to just get quickness.
Oh, just get quickness, and you just play Viper with some Seraph gear, right? Or maybe you just play Seraph gear actually in PvE. If we're gonna jump over to PvE, right? Then you play Viper and Seraph or however much boon, whatever you need to get 100% boon duration with Condi, and you just go crazy with the burns, right? And then you give quickness. 100% quickness would be a joke on Firebrand. Like a 1UP made a Reddit post saying that if you've got alacrity, then stand your ground is 100% uptime on 5 people, just by pressing it with the trait with it traited, that is, on honor, right? Which you probably wouldn't take that actually. So you would take So you wouldn't take honor. You probably take what? Radiance. Well, what would you take on Condi Firebrand actually in PvE? Obviously you have Radiance. Do you take Virtues?
Yeah.
And Zeal? I guess.
Not so much Zeal. Well, Zeal for bursty things, yeah, I guess.
I mean, what other like Valor and Honor don't do damage, so.
Yeah.
But Zeal, Radiance, Firebrand.
Likes,
Zeal, Radiance, Firebrand. Yeah. Radiance, Virtues, Firebrand. Like, it's probably Radiant.
You don't need damage.
You don't need. I don't think you need.
Radiance, Virtues.
Do you need Virtues?
Well, Virtues just for the team fights.
Wait, what?
That acts auto attack.
Oh, we're talking about PvE. What the hell are you talking about? Like, why are you jumping all over the place? What the hell's going on here, man? What you guys talking about?
What are we talking about now?
I don't even know. What the hell's going on, man?
I don't know what you're talking about.
I'm tired, man. Give me a break, dude. What the hell is this?
I feel like you're the one jumping over the place, and you don't even realize it.
I was talking about PvE, like with the quickness, with Viper gear, like not PvP.
Okay.
You guys lost me. I thought we were in War vs. World still.
Wait. Well, I don't know. Like Boots wanted to talk about PvE or something, man. I don't know, dude.
All right,
so PvE. So PvE. I have a question.
Okay. Yes.
So I've seen a lot of people already saying that Guardian is going to sort of replace Chronomancer.
No,
because of the quickness.
Very wrong.
That's wrong because of the alacrity, right?
And distortion.
And because of the AOE, distortion, and because of the way that it's. Do you think like it's given out in a cone for Guardians, right, versus an AOE?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like for higher skilled players, that probably won't be an issue, but for
it's harder to give to people.
Regular players, for most people, like, do you think that directional will be a bit problematic for people?
Yeah, probably. Probably for some people it would be problematic.
If they're garbage, then yeah. I don't know.
Yeah.
Wow.
But real talk, man. I mean,
it's a small. The other thing is it's a smaller zone. So not only do you have to be better at giving it out, but also the people you're with have to be more stacked. So yes, it would be harder.
It's always the Druid's fault.
But you have stand your ground, so that's a 600 AOE.
Yeah, you have that. That's something that you do have.
The thing is, if it is the case that Firebrand can provide quickness to 10 people, now we're talking.
And just completely get rid of the chrono, and then they could be Mirage DPS instead.
Or something like that. You could either have some kind of other alacrity provider in the other groups, like maybe you run. I don't know, dude. Yeah, you run Rev or something. I don't know, guys. Like just humor me, all right? Humor me, guys. Okay?
I'm humoring you.
Just humor me. All right.
Ready.
Just assume that there's some other way to get alacrity. You can kind of drop. You could drop the chrono, or have one chrono go like way more DPS or something, and then just have quickness on 10 people with the Firebrand, which I think might be possible because 5 people are sorted immediately with the Stand Your Ground, right? So then all you have to do is give quickness to 5 people by spamming the mantra, the heal skill, and applying Aegis, and you get to go. I think it's theoretically possible. I think it'll be weird because of how boon distribution is, right? I mean, maybe you put yourself in your own separate party and you kind of jiggle around in the group to distribute it, like old school Chrono, right? It could be like old school Chrono, to a certain extent, I think. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. But certainly the quickness mantra again is very powerful. It gives might as well, so it's got a little bit of a might stack on it as well. It's got some extra handy little buffing there. The heal skill gives quickness. The mantra gives quickness. Any Aegis or Retail or Stab you put out. Is it Retail? I think it's Aegis or Stab. Yeah, it's Aegis or Stab, I think. Is going to go ahead and give quickness as well for 4 seconds because you're going to be trying to camp 100% duration. So just maybe you can do it to 10 people or have a decent uptime on 10 people and kind of jiggle around. Maybe you have one Chrono, one Firebrand, and then you have another DPS class or something. I don't know. Could be weird. Something could happen.
Can a Chrono give enough alacrity to 10 people? One Chrono?
No.
Yeah.
Probably not. Not even with... I don't 3 Avengers and Alacrity Well is probably not enough.
Not enough.
Not for 10.
And people have also been saying that even with Renegade, by going pure trying to give Alacrity to people, you're not going to get 100% uptime of Alacrity anyway. So this, I mean, is probably Chrono is not going to get replaced if we want Alacrity in our raids.
Yeah, which you do, generally speaking.
Which you do.
Well, you do, but then again, I mean, Alacrity it's very, very good. However, like if Firebrand can still do a huge amount of damage while doing that, now we're talking. You could potentially be in business. It could be an alternative. It might not be the best, but it could be an alternative.
Could be the best deck.
What if you don't sacrifice everything? How about this? This is my suggestion. Ready?
Okay, drop it.
You don't sacrifice everything. You use your Guardians in there who do a ridiculous amount of damage with Firebrand. Use your Guardians in there for quickness. And instead of two Chronomancers or 1 Chronomancer to do the Alacrity and the quickness, you remove Mesmer completely and do 4 Renegades. You do 4 Renegades.
But
Each
why?
of them can give, by not sacrificing too much, can probably give 50% uptime of Alacrity, but also give 50% uptime of Soul Cleaver Summit.
Holy shit, dude.
So two
man.
Renegades on each team alternate Soul Cleaver Summits and Alacrity giving, so that you have 100% Alacrity uptime and 100% Soul Cleaver Summit uptime for everybody.
No.
I agree. No.
Wow. Firebrand Firebrand is amazing, guys, and I think full DPS Firebrand will probably be pretty strong as well. Burn Guard, guys, Boots, you can finally play the game. Burn Guard's probably going to be a thing now, man.
I can.
But,
I hope that they don't fix the Permitting Wrath trait to make it in line with what the Tome's base duration is, because that would make me sad. But I have a feeling that might happen. I think they're going to nerf Permitting Wrath by half for Firebrands.
Well, yeah, but is Permitting Wrath even going to be a big deal for PvE, though?
No, I guess not. Not for raids, anyway.
Yeah.
But for PvE, yes. But not for single target raids, no.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, you know what I mean.
I think it'll be really good in Fractals as well. Like, really shine in Fractals.
You think so? Why?
Yeah, just because I think it can provide so much damage, healing. I just think it can provide a lot for a smaller group.
Actually, it does also make a difference. It makes a huge difference for single target raids because it changes the passive tome of 1 second base to 2 seconds with 100% burn duration to 4 seconds every 3 hits of burn. So that's actually a large buff of damage, even if it is one target. And it buffs it even more if it's more than one target.
Assuming that they don't patch that.
That's what I'm saying. I hope they don't. I hope either they don't patch it,
Yeah.
or they bring the passive back to what it was for tomes.
I'm still.
Right, so
I think
PvP.
you'll still be better off. PvP Firebrand. Apparently it's trash. Apparently it's trash.
Yeah,
burning,
I've heard it's not ranking super well.
Yeah.
From the pros' perspective.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, because that block.
I think it can
That
be
block is
cheesy.
good.
I think it can be super cheesy for sure, and we'll have to see how it get fleshed out a little bit more. But I'm not so sure about it.
Yeah, it's I could see it being good for team fights though. Seriously, like
Yeah,
those tomes.
I think if
and
you
the
could
extra burning.
if you could actually hit someone with the tomes, then you're gonna have a great time. If you can get people in the down state and enemies try and res, say goodbye. Like the entire team's dead after that. You know.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But you need to get to that.
Yeah, you don't really have the reach. You know, you're on axe, mate, or something like that. You're gonna be slow as fuck, right? Like, so then what do? You run sword to kind of move around. Like, I don't know, man. The synergies aren't really there. I don't think.
You could do the teleport judgment utility too, I guess, and like start casting Tome 4 when at the beginning of the fight. Like you go to midpoint at the beginning of the fight, you start casting Tome 4, teleport in, it drops the AoE that does 2 stacks of burning every second or whatever it is for 5 seconds. Give AoE gigantic fire fields. Everybody jumps in and starts spinning.
Yeah, man. Everyone's got those
Sounds
burning
like a
bolts
boost
everywhere.
bad build. It sounds like Boots Bed build is already made
Everything's
on
a
this
boost
one.
bed build.
I definitely think it can be. I think it will be a very all or nothing spec, right? Either
Yeah,
you will,
sure.
either in PvP you'll either absolutely crush the entire enemy team instantly, or you'll just insta die and be useless. I think that's how it's gonna go.
Oh, actually, hold on a second though. Like Aiken's saying, bunker healing, firebrand, and PvP. Maybe that can be a thing. That can possibly be a thing in the front. Because I've only been concentrating on like trying to make a really damagey firebrand, which is pretty easy to do.
Sure.
Pretty easy to do. And who knows? Maybe there's some decent defensive capabilities of the firebrand that we haven't really looked into tapping into yet.
The tome cooldowns are kind of long though. That's the thing. It's not like,
especially the defensive tones are very low.
Yeah, the defensive ones have very long cooldowns, and virtues does help there. You can reduce them down a bit, but they're still pretty long. So there's that, and you'll have sustain, and you'll be able in a team fight. You're going to heal really well. You'll heal really well, but just not for long. That's the
renewing
trouble.
Focus.
Yeah, then you refocus, and you maybe get a reload. Yeah, it's possible. And, especially in PvP, like, there's a lot of scarcity of stability, right? Like, they kind of nerfed all the stability down, and Firebrand, it's got stability for days. You got stab all day, every day, man. Because you've got the auto attack. The goddamn auto attack on the tome gives stability, right? And stuff like that. So, like, you got loads of protection. You got a resistance field. You got projectile reflex. You got protection. You got every boon ever. Firebrand's really great on. If you can take a decisive fight with Firebrand, then yeah, sure, it could be good in PvP. But I don't think it's going to be like high tier. Like I'm going to say this, and then it's going to be like busted on launch, right? And everyone's going to run Firebrand. This is a dangerous game we're playing here.
It is. We no predictions in this. We just
Mirage.
Talk about our impressions.
Mirage is
next.
Yeah.
I didn't. Okay, so I saw a lot of threads on Reddit about Mirage. I personally didn't spend enough time with it to really get a good feel of it. But there's some threads. There's one thread that the title was like, "No utility, no DPS, no healing. Mirage is useless," or something like that. And I don't think I agree with that. I don't think I agree with that assessment of it.
Then do you know why this is? Boots? We need to talk about the elephant in the room. Okay.
Okay, go for it.
And
Chrono was too good.
And that's Chronomancer, man.
Yeah.
And this is where kind of I don't know, like, especially from a PvP perspective, you have Continuum Split, you have Chrono Phantasma, you have the Super Speech thing, can't remember what it's called, in the minor one, and you have Illusionary Reversion. Like, every single fucking trait in Chronomancer is absolutely busted. Beyond belief, right? It's just actually insane. Like, it's absolutely crazy, like, how good Chrono is, right? So to get something competes with that is very difficult, right? It's extremely difficult to get anything to compete with. Oh, yeah, and Shield, and Shield, like, oh my god, like, Shield of all things. Like, yeah, you have Shield, which is, again, completely insane. So it's difficult to even get anything that compares to that, and that's why I think Mirage is seeming to fall short a little bit with regards to PvP, at least.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think Chronomancer is just so good that what they needed to do with Mirage is give Mesmer. Yeah, I'm talking about Mesmer. Give Mesmer something that it hasn't really. It seems it's not something it hasn't had before. It's not something that It's what it was supposed to be in the beginning, right? It's giving it like the pure deceptive stuff that it was kind of missing before. It had it, but now 5 years down the line, we know exactly what Mesmer's clones look like. We know exactly what Phantasms look like. So it's not that deceptive anymore. Maybe with Mirage, it'll be just deceptive enough now. So I think that's what they were kind of trying to do with Mirage. And I think other things that come along with it, which is nice, is it's going to do a lot of DPS, like a lot of DPS, I think. But I think it can.
Apparently, it only adds a little bit.
Really?
Yeah, not a ton.
Not a huge amount of extra DPS in PvE, at least.
Solo, just by yourself. But I'm thinking a lot of DPS if other people build into it a little bit. Like if you're running around with a Condi Thief as well, a Daredevil, who is giving you your signet of agility, and maybe a Tempest, who's pumping out a lot of endurance to you as well. I think that you can bring, even though it's just a slight buff right now, you could bring it to a large buff when you sort of work out some synergies with synergistic compositions.
Yeah, but it kind of lacks that. The other thing, too, is what's really interesting is Mirage, Mesmer in general, suffers the opposite of Soul Beast and Ranger. They nerfed Condi Ranger so that Soul Beast can shine a little bit, and they did the opposite with Mirage. They didn't really nerf Mesmer, base Mesmer, so Mirage is just lackluster in like that regard. It doesn't really, like damage-wise, it's really undertuned, I feel like. It really doesn't bring a whole lot of damage to the table necessarily.
Yeah.
And Chronomancer is so strong that it makes it even more difficult of a sell. And I'm not saying like Mirage needs to be way stronger than Chronomancer. They need to be like better equals, but they're not. It's not really there right now.
Yeah.
So
a big problem with this, as chat has pointed out here, is that when you can't, the clone generation needs to be really high. But if you want to use your profession mechanic, if you want to shatter to maybe like use some of that other goodness that Mesmer's got, like, do you want to get some damage, or you want to spike with Mind Drac, you want to give them aids with Cry of Frustration or something like that. Well, tough shit. Looks like all those clones that use your ambush attacks, well, they're gone now, so have fun, you know? I guess like the idea is that you get the sick ambush, you get 3 clones, they all ambush immediately, and then you shatter them for like the Omega spike after they've used the attack. But the thing is, like, they're all slow now. They don't have super speed, so they just kind of gently run at your opponent, right? So it's kind of...
Oh no, here they come.
Here they come, oh no!
It's not so bad, though, because you have to teleport all your guys to your opponent.
Yeah, so you do have that on the X, right? But then you have to give up the sword if you're going to play PvP. Right? And the thing is, like, sword is such a huge core of Mesmer that it kind of stings, right? And you can kind of counteract it with all the evasion. There's a lot of evasion with the, like, you know, the jaunt and the glitching around, and you've got the confusing dodge. But
when you say give up the sword, though, sword is sort of like a staple for PvP, for example. And also, you know, it's really good in PvE. But I think that this is bringing us to a point in the conversation where we got to talk about how elite specs aren't supposed to be replacements for older elite specs. They're supposed to be a different way to play. And I think that definitely in the case of, let's say, Deadeye and Daredevil, is definitely a different way to play. Deadeye does not replace what Daredevil can do in PvP.
No, it's way worse. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, exactly. It's just a completely.
but that's sort of the theme so far, right? You know, a lot of this comes down to, like, unfortunately, a lot of this always comes down to numbers, and I hate repeating that. But like, Soul Beast and Druid are very different from one another, but one is better than the other currently in a lot of situations. So, Mirage is no different than. Like Mesmer's no different, right? Mirage and Chronomancer are very different from one another. So success there, but one is way more useful than the other one.
Well, yeah. Here's the trouble, right? Here's the same thing, though. I mean, we'll come back to talking about Mirage in a little bit. Like, if you just look at it's the same inherent problem. Like, Daredevil is so good in PvP. It's hard to make something better than that. Same with Mesmer. Mesmer is so good. Chronomancer, obviously in particular, is so good that it's difficult to make something to compete with that's also different and not just strictly better. And I guess you could kind of say the same thing with Druid. Like, Druid was very, very strong in PvP, like, kind of aids to a very cancerous thing to play against. So yeah, it's difficult to extend on that, but I think like the two big outliers will be Thief and Mesmer, right? It's just it's the master race, guys. Like Chrono and Daredevil, like that's in PvP. Like, you're gonna be stomping fools, man. So yeah, it's the struggle, dude. It's the struggle.
How can you replace those two things? You can't.
Ajax
so do something different.
Ajax really sort of touches on a great point that I've brought up in other podcasts and other places, and that's because these new specs are the new thing, the new hotness. That's what everybody wants to play, and they want them to be very strong and very good, and That is part of it's a big part of the attraction to Path of Fire. And when sometimes your initial impression, which, we've only had this one weekend so far, the game's not even live yet, but when your first impression is not very good or not very strong compared to a base class or the other elite spec and so on, then it leaves a very sour taste in people's mouths. And of course, it's going to be determined on what mode you play as well. If Mirage, just as an example, is not any good in PvP, and you really play PvP as your main mode, then you're going to be really disappointed that Path of Fire doesn't really bring much for you to the table, even though that's not necessarily bad design-wise.
Exactly. If we want to talk about Deadeye for a second, Deadeye is not as good as Daredevil in PvP. It's just not at all, especially not in the role that thieves are meant to play or seem to are supposed to be playing. But I had a lot of fun with Deadeye over the weekend.
Yeah.
Like, a lot of fun. I had a lot of fun playing a different way of playing. I played the way I was thinking of playing, and I told you about, and it is as stupid as I thought it was going to be. Just a perma stealth thief,
just trolling people and sniping.
Trolling people and sniping, exactly. And it's fun.
This is a very valid consideration. I mean, this Brazil has been kind of shit posting about this as well. There's some dang memes over the weekend as well, right? And it's a fact that Deadeye, although it might not be amazingly powerful, or wow, this is going to change the game, it does succeed in what the elite specialization should be, right? It's a very, very cool concept. It's executed well, I think. I think maybe the cast time on the steel is kind of but whatever.
Yeah, that's true.
But it's a well-executed, very different playstyle. Like with the Neil as well, that's really, really cool. The whole Malice concept is great. The whole theme of the specialization is really, really cool. And yeah, it certainly looks fun to play. Like, it ain't really my style, honestly. I'm more of a, let's get on that melee train and start smashing people into oblivion. But yeah, I could really see it being a lot of fun to play in PvP and World vs. World. I definitely think it can be fun. Mm-hmm. Whether it's going to replace Daredevil, it's kind of iffy, right? Because of how powerful
And I think it's
Daredevil
not supposed
was.
to.
No, I don't think it is, yeah. I don't think it is.
No, I don't think any.
No, they're not supposed to replace it. That's the whole point, right? That's the whole point, which is why Deadeye is such a great elite specialization, because it's obviously not supposed to replace it. It's a very
actually, that's a good question. Can we go through all the elite specializations real quick and see if any of them replace the HOT specialization? Right off the top, I might say Necromancer.
Necromancer, as it stands, I mean, we can't even talk about Necromancer. I'm sorry, like, no, it's pointless even. Seriously, I'll put it. I actually said this. I said this on stream yesterday, and if Scourge doesn't get nerfed within like 3 to 6 months after the expansion, I will buy and give away 3 Ultimate Editions. Seriously, like the class is so ridiculous currently that there is no way it will survive as it stands.
Is the main problem? What is the main problem with it?
It's broken.
Yes, but why is it broken? Like, what is broken about it?
It doesn't.
For me, it's the fact that basically it just gives a necromancer, like all the HOT, the elite spec was a different way to play. It gave you a different death shroud, and when you went in it, you were doing something different. It wasn't really buffs to anything in particular. It was just different. This is just buffs on top of your thing. You lose your death shroud, but it's kind of replaced by the barriers you get.
Exactly, you get barriers, man.
Yeah, and it's just like extra damage on top of your character rather than a different way to deal damage. And also, you get to hit 20 people.
You get to hit literally 20 people, and you have insane cleanse on your team. Insane boon rip on your enemies, and massive damage, and insane. I mean, what is this? Like, you get mass barrier, mass condition cleanse. It's insane, man. It's crazy, dude.
Has World vs. World been lagging more because of Scourge?
Well, I mean, no, but like in World versus, I mean, not as far as I'm aware. In fact, the lag wasn't really that bad. Surprisingly, not that bad. It was kind of bad earlier on, but no, like it's busted, man.
I'm just asking because one of the main reasons we don't have everything does 10 targets is because it was going to create too much lag in World versus World. But if you're having scourges that do 20 targets, maybe we can get extra targets.
No, like listen. In World versus World, Scourge is probably the best thing that's ever been in that game mode by far. Like the most overpowered thing. I can't think of anything more overpowered in World versus World than Scourge. Seriously, it's insane.
What about PvP?
In PvP, I don't know, man. I think once people realize it, it's probably, I don't know. Like the shades are kind of tiny, and you don't have the shroud. You're kind of like a magnet to get beat on. I don't actually think it's that amazing in PvP, honestly. But in World versus World, that's what we see as relevant dance. PvE, probably no one cares. I think in PvP, it's probably just whatever. It's probably okay. It's probably pretty
So
good.
it's super amazing in World vs. World. It's the most amazing thing ever.
Yeah. By far.
The other game modes, it's...
Yeah. I don't know. I think it can be played in PvP. If you can actually hit people with the shit, then you'll just destroy people. But actually doing that, like, the base shades are... if the base they're kind of tiddly, it kind of might be difficult to land if you can kind of play around with it. But
man, I'm being told it's S tier.
If you can get it, if you can actually like if you can like bait people into it, you fucking die, dude. Like if you go anywhere near that Scourge, you are fucked.
It is one of the problems with Scourge, the fact that you can't damage the shades.
No.
No. Okay.
I mean, the thing is, like, there's just some very weird interactions. There's some serious problems with interactions. It's like, I mean, like, okay, just put it like this. So, Sand Shroud procs Doomfire like 7 times, okay? It's procs at 1 time second. It's fucking ridiculous, dude. Like, the Sand Shade, it will cast Spiteful Spirit for you. It will cast Enfeebling Blood. If you get anywhere near the Scourge, you just die, pretty much. Like, or the Shade. Like, if you're near the Shade, you're fucked. For small point play, if you're on a small point and the Scourge gets you, you're screwed. Like if you try and res someone and the Scourge gets you, you're fucked. So I don't know.
Yeah.
So strong and structured PvP, from what I'm hearing.
I would say it's
very
strong.
I would say
Scourge is pretty fucking good, dude.
But in PvE, still not really.
No, it's not.
I don't see why it wouldn't be.
It's not going to be a thing.
You're talking about raids or just general PvE?
Well, in-game content, Fractal's raids.
Okay, raids. Why wouldn't it be good in raids? Just as a DPS?
Just because Reaper already does more damage.
Okay. It's kind of just a buff over your normal weapon skills, though, no?
No, I mean, it doesn't have
Barrier isn't good in raids?
It doesn't have chill.
It doesn't have Deathly Chill, yeah.
So
you'd play a different build.
Is Barrier not good in raids because it doesn't last long enough, do you think?
Well, no, I mean, you already have...
Or you just don't really need it.
You already have Mage Druid.
Honestly, I could see Scourge being good DPS, Condi DPS in PvP. In PvE. Ooh. Amber Alert.
Oh, no!
Oh, no.
Stop stealing children, keep them in your closet.
Oh, yeah. Pipe down. Pipe down. Because to me, I mean, yes, there's that build that's 3 builds in 1 for Reaper that does a lot of DPS. But before that, just base Condi Necro, that didn't do terrible DPS, just like base Conjuring Necro. No? It did like 20-something K, 28K or something like that.
Yeah.
And a Scourge is just extra Condi damage on top of that.
I mean, it's probably fine, but I think Reaper will still be better. Don't you think?
Okay. Maybe. I don't know. We'll have to see.
Yeah.
But Reaper's not very
the
good.
thing is that unless there's Boon Rip, you don't do too much, really. You don't...
Because when you think about it, though, like, the Death Shroud is not so useful in PvE. Right? Yeah, I am thinking pre-lich for lich form nerf. You're right. That was all those stupid horrors going around doing a lot of bleeding. But anyway, my point is that the Death Shroud is not so important in PvE, and it's like the main reason why people said, you know, it's okay that Reaper's damage or Necromancer's damage isn't so high. It's because they have such good survivability because they have that life form.
Yeah, but that was that was a terrible argument, though.
It was a bad, yeah, it was bad. But this gives this deals away with that and just gives you the ability to use that life shroud to do additional damage on top of it. I think it could possibly do that. It could give you a lot of damage.
Yeah, I think if they. If they go in the direction where they can make all the shades be able to attack in PvE or something, then it would probably do a lot of damage. Because right now, even if you put 3 shades on the boss,
they only get one hit.
You only get 1 hit, right?
Yeah, that is the issue.
That's an issue.
Yeah.
So what haven't we talked about yet?
Well, I don't know. It's Scourge, dude.
A lot of things.
We got to talk about like Scourge. Like Scourge is amazing, dude.
Well, you've been talking about Scourge.
Dude,
it's amazing and everything.
I love
but
Scourge,
PvE.
dude. I love this fucking class, man. Like, I think that maybe there are some, like, I don't know. Maybe it might be a bit. There might be a bit of an issue with it in just kind of when people play around it in PvP. But I think it's very strong right now. I mean,
it's exactly what I thought it was going to be. You don't want to be anywhere near it. Is the thing.
Yeah, if you get anywhere near it in PvP, you're fucked. But then again, like, you have a little bit more kind of room to kind of negotiate around it in PvP. But it's gonna be fucking amazing, dude. Like, I'm gonna play it in PvP. Fuck it. I think it will probably be pretty good. At least pretty good, but also maybe amazing. In World vs. World, it's literally the most broken thing ever. Are they gonna nerf it?
Like I said,
they're gonna nerf it, man. They're gonna nerf it, dude. Scourge gonna replace 3 shades with 1 mega shade. Yeah, like, I think maybe if you take the mega shade, I didn't try the mega shade. If you take the mega shade in PvP, then maybe it's amazing. I don't know, man. I didn't play with the mega shade. I tried to play with the little 3 mini shades, but maybe you just
all the traits count as 1. What exactly does that do though on top of it? It's like it doesn't do 3 stacks of burning and stuff, though, does it? Or 3 stacks of torment for each one on a single target? Does it?
Let's find out.
Let's find out. Okay.
No, Rim, are you crazy, dude? No. What are you talking about, man? Like, no, dude. Like, in World vs. World, the mega shade is ridiculous, dude. What are you talking about, man? That's actually insane.
I love that it's called Mega Shade.
Yeah.
But does the mega shade in World vs. World hit 15 targets, or is it just 5?
It hits 10 targets, but you also hit 10 targets. It makes you hit 10 targets as well.
Interesting.
What do you think about Torch? What do you think about its weapon?
I actually really like it. I think it's really cool. It's got a copious amount of aids. Amount of aids on you. And then you also have this really cool might stack thing on the 5, right? For every condi on your opponent, you gain 2 AoE might, dude.
Yeah, yeah. PS Warrior, goodbye.
PS...
Although it's only 16 seconds, only 25 seconds.
Necromancer, man. PS Necromancer.
Is there a duration reducing thing for Torch on the traits?
I believe so, yeah, in the minor. It also converts some stats as well.
Okay, so you can get it down to 20 seconds, and then with Alacrity, what does it go down to, like 15 or something?
Yeah, about that. 16 seconds.
So yeah,
your
with 100%
greater
boon
shade,
duration.
greater shade or mega shade, whatever you want to call it. It increased targets to 5, reduced recharge 33%.
Yeah.
Radius increased 120.
So normally it's only 3 targets, the single shades?
No, it's 5 targets normally, but it increases it to 10 targets.
Oh, additional 5.
Yeah, an additional 5
not
targets.
5. Okay. Yeah, okay. Interesting. And increased targets for you too?
Yeah, on you.
You
as well.
infect more targets.
Yeah.
Holy crap.
Yeah.
Okay, that's good for War's World.
Yeah. So,
Wow.
like I said, it's broken. No, it's stupid. Like, you hit 20 people, dude. It's ridiculous. But the thing is, okay, so you see, it makes you affect 10 allies as well, right? So on the F2 skill, it is easy, right? It converts 2 conditions on your allies to boons, okay? But that's on you and your shades. You can get like 20 people. every 4 seconds with that conversion.
Yeah, and people
And
are
then-
saying the mega
and then-
shade covers an entire point.
Yeah, like if you put the Mega Shade, you can't go on the point in PvP.
Yeah.
Pretty much. Oh, on the small points. But then again, you can probably do with the mini shade as well. In fairness, the cooldown reduction on summoning the shade is kind of powerful as well. So maybe you always take the Mega Shade. I don't know. I didn't only played a few games with it in PvP actually, so I can't really evaluate how amazing it is. But just the kind of the area control of it might be pretty good. It's still kind of slow as fuck with no stability though. So I don't know, man. But I don't know, dude. I don't know, man.
Also, these utility skills are very good for PvE. Because how many good utility skills do you have for a Condi Necro?
Blood is power.
To do damage. Just besides Blood is power.
Well, what else do you need? You can
Well,
take
you
corrosive
have
poison.
two other utility slots.
Well, what are the ones in Scourge you take for PvE?
You got a bunch. You got leave a trail of sand as you travel, 2 stacks of torment and burning whenever you hit them with it. What else do you have? Ghostly serpents towards targeted area. Nah, maybe that's not enough damage. But yeah, you got a bunch of them.
But they don't really do a lot of damage unless the enemy has boons.
Not only if they have boons, right?
Yeah, like it rips the boons. That's where you get the torment from.
That one does. No, but the Trail of Anguish, inflict burning on enemies and corrupt. Oh, you're right. So it's only boons. Yeah, that is an issue.
So unless they have boons, like the Scourge doesn't. And yeah, you take Epi. Good point, Twitch chat. But
You take Epi, that's true. So you only have room for one new utility skill, I guess. Yeah. Oh well. So Scourge, we'll see. We'll see if it's good in PvE.
I think it could be good. If they change some stuff about it, it could be good. But in PvP and World vs. World, that's good. Why the fuck did I don't know why I said earlier that it's not good in PvP. I'm fucking fake news, dude. I was watching Ajax earlier, and he got fucking wrecked, dude. He got destroyed by a Scourge.
I would say a certain word, but I don't want to be that kind of person.
Noob? You want to call him a noob?
No, to you.
What?
It starts with a W.
What?
And then an RONG.
Wrong? I am wrong, man. I am wrong.
I know, but I can't be the person who says that.
I
Because
This is too nice. You're wrong, Teapot. Wrong.
My brain is just completely malfunctioning, dude. Like, Scourge is the shit, dude.
All right, let's talk about Renegade.
Yeah.
Okay, Renegade at
People
first
wanna hear how-
glance and first use, not very good in PvP.
We've got a PvE spec. We've got a PvE spec, boys.
Holy
Okay.
crap! Is it?
We've got a
People have
PvE.
been telling me. People have been telling me that the current utility and elite skills are bugged,
Oh wait,
and
what?
that they're supposed to have a 1-second internal cooldown,
No.
but they don't. But they don't currently have an internal cooldown. And it is true. They currently don't have an internal cooldown, or if they do, it's so fast that it doesn't matter. I do know that in my testing, I'm pretty sure if you're hitting 3 targets at the same time with the skill, only one of them will get the, for example,
Nike
for Soul
says it
Cleaver.
was. Nike says the ICD was removed intentionally.
Intentionally.
Makes
Okay.
sense.
All right. Great. So Soul Cleaver Summit is an elite skill that makes you lose your energy very, very fast. You could have it up for 10 seconds every 50 energy, approximately. So if you swap to Renegade and start casting Soul Cleaver Summit, you'll have it up for 10 seconds, just enough time to swap out again. So you can technically have this up in PvE 50% of the time. Now, what it does is insane. It gives 5 allies about 750 life steal. So you steal 750 life. It does 750 damage each hit, and you gain between 400 and 700 life, depending on your healing power. And that gives to all your friends. So I don't know, Nick, you could probably say this. How often do people usually hit in PvE in raid situations? How many ticks of damage? It depends on what build you're running, obviously. But probably what?
It's a lot. You hit a few times. You hit a lot with quickness. You hit a lot.
With quickness,
especially
like 8 hits per
especially
second
if
or
you're on
something?
something like Ellie, you're gonna hit a lot of the time. On let's see,
With quickness, only 3 times per second, really.
anything that's got pulsing fields is gonna hit all the time.
Yeah, that's
so,
what I'm
like,
thinking.
a lot
Like-
of classes are going to
Like
hit
a
lot.
Guardian. A Guardian's going to do a lot of hits per second.
Yeah, exactly. Something like Whirling Wrath. You have like all the like the spinning around in circles. Like there's a lot of hits, right? Like the Scepter, there's a lot of hits on that. So yeah, there's a lot of hits, dude.
What I think people should do now is just take this and run it with 4 flamethrower NGs.
I'm not sure that's. I'm not sure that's worth, man.
Is it not worth it? It gives the flamethrower energy. I guess not. Yeah, it's
Flamethrower
10
NG. It's
hits.
just not a lot of damage, man.
No, it's not. It's like 20k or something like that.
Yeah,
It's not so much.
But then you just play
Yeah.
just base NG, you know? I don't know, man.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's probably gonna be pretty strong in PvP. PvP. No, God, no. PvE.
PvE.
You'll have to forgive me, guys.
Yeah.
I'm tired.
It's gonna
I'm tired for some reason.
It's going to make the already Condi spec more Condi powerful.
Yeah. Condi Rev
Do you
is
think that-
gonna be a thing, boys.
Energy on Rev should be consumed by the utilities only instead of both weapons and utilities. Meh. Not really. I think it's fine the way it is.
I would say the
No.
energy costs are a little bit pricey, especially on the
They are.
F skills.
On the new F skills,
They
yeah.
are pretty damn high, man.
40 is a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I hate to say this because I used to love the hell out of Revenant, but the Condi spec doesn't overly excite me. The Condi spec in general never did. Shortbow is nice. It's nice to get that weapon for Revenant. I think it's a weapon they really needed with the range and all that. But it's basically consume your energy, switch, consume your energy, switch, consume your energy. I don't know. And I always kind of hoped that there would be more play with the energy mechanic, and there just really isn't. So I'm a little bit sour grapes. It's good for PvE. It's bleh for PvP, and it's apparently not very strong in World vs. World. So,
No.
which is fine. It doesn't have to be, right? It's just a sort of an assessment, I guess. And
Again, it's a similar problem to the way like Daredevil and Chrono, right? Herald was already really good, and so like it doesn't have to be better than that. It doesn't even be similar to that, really. But
And the main reason why Herald didn't make it into PvE that much nowadays, it obviously made it when it was powerful DPS at the beginning. But the reason why Herald isn't into it right now is because it gives a bunch of boons to people, but people are getting those boons other places.
Yeah, exactly.
But now with Renegade, all these things they're getting on their utility skills and elite skills are unique buffs, which is something they really needed. And they're crazy unique buffs too. Maybe a little too crazy, but they're good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's also kind of a raw DPS class as well. That's kind of what Rev needed. Because Power Roll Condi, while good on some very specific bosses, so good on specific situations because of how Torment is, right? And Condi Rev in general is not actually bad anymore. It's quite strong now. But now it's going to have that raw DPS, which is probably going to be good pretty much everywhere. It's going to be good stuff, wow. Renegade, man. Big deeps.
Renegade.
Big deeps.
Big deeps.
Big deeps. And those, as you say, unique modifiers. That's kind of if you're gonna bring buffs, then bring Might and Fury. A warrior's got that on lock, man. You don't. It's not necessary. You can get away with it. But yeah, Renegade.
How?
Bit disappointing for people who like PvP and World vs. World.
Yeah.
Cool design though. Ritualist from Guild Wars 1, pretty much. You summon spirits and they do cool stuff.
Right? I mean, although with Renegade, yeah, using like the Renegade legend as your main legend in PvP is not going to go over so well. Like it's not very strong. But you can still make a pretty decent PvP build.
I just think Herald is stronger.
Oh yeah, for sure, it's stronger. But I'm thinking it could find a niche in like certain team fights. Like I think you could probably use most of your time while you're doing 1v1s and 1v2s on some other legend, trade it in some other way, and then pull out Soul Cleaver Summit whenever you're in a team fight, and just rock house.
Yeah.
I
don't think it's possible. I don't think it's obviously going to be playable. I mean, you can play pretty much anything, man.
Yeah, it's true.
You can play anything. if you want to, but whether it's actually going to be good is another thing entirely. And
yes, this is something I've learned in my years.
If you're going to want to give up Herald, right? It's just like, man, like you're not really giving up Herald is a big thing, right? And
it is tough. It's good.
It's a really
There's
tough,
a lot of coordination. Yeah,
it's all good stuff.
Plus shield.
Well, I mean,
shield.
No, not so much of a thing anymore, really. Though it's more about axe these days.
PvP.
Yeah, in PvP, yeah. Yeah. It's fallen out of favor a bit. The shield's fallen out of favor.
Okay.
Yeah. So, yeah. I don't know, Kev. I don't know, Kev. Anyway, what else?
Spellbreaker.
Rim is actually saying, just real quick, Rim is saying he in PvP now with Revenant, he doesn't use the legend, but he uses the trait line.
Yeah, definitely don't use the legend, yeah. You can use the trait line, definitely.
Sure.
To do stuff, right? But, yeah. It's better for Spec to be overtuned as undertuned as soon as Direction and Mirage. Well, I think I'd agree with that for building hype, yeah. Because now people just... if it's undertuned, people just rage, right? And that's what we're seeing. But imagine if you made... Yeah. Imagine if the stuff that was already insane was even more insane. Then people would probably complain as well. Like, people would complain either way, B-Boy, man. Let's be real here. Like, people would complain either way. Like, it's broken. It's broken, but they'd be hyped.
It is better. It is better for people, generally speaking, for it to be overtuned so people feel good about the class, and then
nerf.
And just like AMD, you can rip the rug out from under them at the last second. Say, ha gotcha.
That's what happened to Rev.
Got him. We got you to buy the expansion, but now your class is garbage now. Yeah. Spellbreaker. All right, let's talk Spellbreaker, man.
Okay. I'm ready.
I honestly didn't think I would. This is probably one of the classes I never thought I would play. Like Warrior, it ain't my thing. Okay.
Pretty excited for PvP.
I don't really like Warrior. I never really have enjoyed the Warrior class, but goddamn, that's probably about to change. Like, holy shit, I had fun playing Spellbreaker in the stream, man. Damn, it was hype, dude. And
so how did you use it?
I was in World vs. World because I basically did nothing else in World vs. World because it's hype. It's even more hype in World vs. World, man.
Drop that field. Holy shit.
The elite skill, man. The elite skill. The boon rip. The weird interact. This will probably get nerfed, actually, in fairness. There's a utility skill called... I can't remember what it's called. It's got 15 second and it removes 2 AoE boons. Okay?
Yeah.
However, there is a trait that says whenever you remove a boon from everyone in the AoE, and something that says you gain adrenaline and also deal damage whenever you remove a boon. But the thing is, that works on 5 targets. So if you use this ability, you'll not only kind of suicide from retail, but also just delete everyone's boons in the area. And do a massive spike damage. It also crits really hard as well. It's broken, dude. Okay? And then you put the field, you put that warrior field down. If they lose stability or resistance first in World vs. World, well, good fucking luck. I guess 10 people just insta-died. You know, it's like, you can't do anything, man. There's nothing you can do.
So what does that mean for the World vs. World meta now?
It's really hard to say right now because if you're in confined spaces, Spellbreaker is king, right? But if you're in open, you can kind of get away with it and play around it a little bit.
Because you can get away from it.
Because you can keep moving, and as long as you keep moving, you won't get the stab rip first, right? Most of the time, or resistance, right? So you can move out of it before you lose. If you get CC'd while you're in it, if you lose your stab or resistance, it's over. Like,
you're done.
Well, good GG. Yeah. Like GG. And if anyone tries to res you, well, good fuck. They're dead as well. You know, there's nothing you can do. But if you can keep moving, you're kind of okay. But what it does mean is that we had this situation a lot actually near a tower. There's kind of you know the tower that's got the road going through it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and there's like a choke around the other side. Like none of us could do anything, right? Because we knew that whoever would go first would be pushing out through the choke, and then the Spellbreakers just put the bubble down and you lose.
It's a tiny choker too, yeah.
Yeah. So in that situation, in World vs. World, it kind of makes stalemates just because of how powerful the bubble is. Yeah, and of course you gotta
build siege right there. Just start building your siege.
Oh man, and then let's just talk about full counter, man. Like full counter, refreshing the burst. Like you can just double burst pretty much immediately. It's only a level 1, but it still does a huge amount of damage.
But it uses the full counter uses a burst bar.
Yeah, but you refresh it though. You refresh.
So as long as you gain the adrenaline back, yeah.
And you get free stats as well. Like
Spellbreaker.
whenever you interrupt, you also get extra stats as well, like Evermight and Frosty's.
Spellbreaker's like the opposite of Renegade.
Yeah. It's strong,
We're
man.
good in structured PvP Warver's World.
Yeah. It's
not so much in PvE.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's very strong. The boon pressure it has and that unique ability to not allow boons back on is very, very powerful. Very, very powerful indeed.
So because it's only the first stage of the burst, it seems like there's certain things that don't quite work well with Spellbreaker. Like Axe, I guess, main hand is not the greatest for Spellbreaker, but Greatsword's not bad. Hammer seems very good still.
Yeah.
Hammer has some good.
Hammer Mace, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, those are good. I guess they wouldn't actually. Yeah. Dagger wouldn't have more than one stage ever. So you can't use a dagger when you're not a Spellbreaker, so you don't need more than one phase of that anyway. Okay, so in Warver's World, you run Hammer, correct?
You're on Hammer Greatsword in World vs. World, yeah.
Hammer Greatsword. Dagger doesn't play into it?
The thing, you 100% could. I think the daggers are actually pretty strong, but the trouble is that the hammer and the greatsword are both so good.
Yeah, all the AoE damage for Zergs.
Yeah, the huge AoE CC and mobility on those weapons is amazing. Like Greatsword, it's got a bunch of mobility skills, so you can break and mobilize. You've got evade frames on it. You've got 100 blades to cleave down people. You've got the arcing slice to cleave people and just spike people down. You've got rush because you're fast as fuck. And then on hammer, you have the leap, which again, like you got mobility on that, but it's also a 2-second knockdown, right? Then you combo that into the backbreaker and the spin. It's just like huge CC. And obviously you're running the draining sigils, right? Draining and absorption, so you're ripping boons and life stealing wildness. And like, if you ever manage to actually catch people with the hammer, they're just pretty much dead because they have no boons anymore, so they lose.
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah,
I like it. So what's the counterplay to it? Just besides just avoiding that circle?
that's the counterplay.
Is that the only counterplay?
I mean, yeah, you can't do anything because you can't put boons back on. That is the only counterplay to not being in to the bubble is to not be in the bubble.
Yeah, don't be in.
So would one thing
don't
you
be a
could
bubble
do?
boy.
What if you send in half your force? They get caught in the bubble. People coming in to try to kill those people get bubbled themselves. It's like, you know.
Well, I don't know, man. Then everyone's dead.
Instead of always going as a blob, you do it in stages. You counter their bubble with your own bubbles as they try to attack you in your bubble.
What?
Bubble play.
Bubble play.
Bubble play.
It's gonna be a new subreddit if it isn't already.
Oh God, Rule 34.
This is it's getting more complicated.
So what about PvP?
I think it's very strong in PvP. Like it's a good brawler. It's a good brawler, good very very strong duelist, and again in the team fight it has this huge boom pressure as well. Huge boom pressure, big damage, and yeah, it's got warrior, so it's still kind of survivable. You still got those stances, like it's decent survivability, but now it's got that punch, man. It's got that punch it needs. It is pretty beefy, pretty goddamn powerful, dude.
Can you use a portal when you're stunned?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Thanks.
So.
I wonder if there's going to be Mesmer exit portal play now to get out of the
portal
bubble.
people out. You have to be everyone has to be standing right on top of each other, man. What can you
do? Yeah, it's true.
Yeah,
full counter isn't unblockable.
Yeah, daze. It does everything, man. It blocks an attack. You take no damage from it. It does a big damage spike. It dazes people. It does everything, dude.
But it doesn't daze people when they have stability, right? So that weird wording of they're interrupted doesn't actually interrupt no matter what.
No, it's just a half-second daze.
Just a daze, okay.
Yeah,
thought so.
Yeah.
So, okay, do you still take your conditions when you do full counter?
Wait, what?
If someone's attacking you with a skill that does conditions,
yeah,
it says does it negate the conditions as well, or does you just still get
it negates the whole attack. It's a very weird ability, right? It's not exactly a block. It just makes the next damage you take 0.
Right, the damage is 0, but are the conditions still applied to you?
Well, yeah, you'll still get the.
Ajax is selling this hard.
Yeah. You'll still get you'll get a
Yeah.
bleed stack, but I mean, who cares about the bleed stack, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, the Condi still hurt you. Okay.
But I mean,
All right, so it's not like
it's traded to give resistance though.
yeah,
So
There you go.
you get resistance when you do the full counter.
and then you
Anyway.
give back the Condis that you
Yeah,
took.
and then when you use a full counter, anyone who gets hit by it, they take 5 condies from you. Like it's a 5 target epi. Oh, woo. Oh, that's juicy, dude.
Yeah.
It's a very
Yeah.
good skill, man. It's
Yeah.
a very good skill. It's just you just wreck people. Spellbreak is amazing. It's so much fun to play. It's a great class. Another just great job by ArenaNet, guys. I'm shilling for ArenaNet. I don't give a fuck, dude. I'm the anti-Brazil. Like I'm ArenaNet. You've done well here, guys. Okay, you've done well.
Brazil was having a lot of fun with
yeah,
Deadeye,
yeah. They've even brought Brazil, man, around.
Yeah, how could you go wrong with Deadeye? Except for like the people playing against it, I guess.
It's not that bad. Like you just LOS people, but yeah, I can imagine it would be very obnoxious in World versus World to a certain extent, and maybe annoying as fuck.
The other problem with Deadeye, it's not a problem actually. It's just an interesting choice. Is how much extra stealth they give you, built into the class with utility skills and the weapon. You get, I mean, it's not even close to hard to be a perma-stealth thief if you're traded into Deadeye now. It's like the easiest thing in the world.
No,
now.
that's the point, right?
Yeah, I guess so. But I don't know. I thought it was something that they didn't really like to have in the game, having perma-stealth thieves going around everywhere.
What haven't we talked about? Oh, Hollowsmith and Weaver. Hollowsmith first?
Hollowsmith
Weaver
boys.
Hollowsmith. Let's do Hollowsmith.
This class again, not a big fan of NG, but there's 100. I'm gonna play NG in the expansion.
For sure.
Yeah,
Hollowsmith
this class is so much fun, man. This class, I didn't even get to play it that much, dude. But this is so much fun, dude.
I agree.
I mean, I was playing kind of a troll build. I admit it. I was playing a terrorist build, Boots. Okay. I took I was in like full Marauder because like I couldn't get anything else. Okay, I was full YOLO. I think I had Scholar Runes on or some bullshit like that. And I used that laser. I was critting people for 10k. Okay, I was that laser, and then I just go in. I actually started the fight on basically 95% heat. Okay, fire the laser, and I just ran in, man.
Yeah, I love that it doesn't reduce, like your heat doesn't go down, so you could build up your heat before a fight just to blow up as soon as you get into it.
That's what I did. I fired the laser. All right, boys, I'm going in. I just ran in and tried to kill myself, and yeah, I died a lot of the time, but a lot of the time I got 15 to 20k crits with 25.
That's why you bring Elixir R with you and come back with.
But you res yourself. Whoa.
Yeah, you res yourself.
It was hilarious. I just
so actually, this is the build I wanted to make. I was actually a little sad that that trait, the Grandmaster trait that makes the damage explode to everybody else, I was sad that it didn't also damage you, because like without the trait it damages you only, but with the trait it damages everybody around you. I really wanted to damage you that blast damage as well, so you guaranteed to die almost every time you do it, because that would be so much fun. You put on your afflicted rune so that when you go down, you also do a death nova.
You get the poison field, dude.
Poison field with a death nova. The death nova does a ton of damage too. It does like 3 to 5k damage or something.
Yeah,
so
damn, dude.
So you bring back my old res yourself engineer.
And if we can be a little bit serious about Hollowsmith as well, the actual just the photon forge, not only is it a kind of a pretty cool concept as well, all the abilities are also really good as well, as it turns out. They do a huge amount of damage. They also you could kind of go off for Condi as well, right? You could go with some Condi as well, right? With the pistols, but I think it's a lot of power in CC, right? The abilities are all really good and do a huge amount of damage. So yeah, like that's a good mechanic, right? Sword is kind of sword is okay. It's okay.
I like sword.
It's okay.
It's also something that's interesting with that trait that doesn't let you reduce your heat outside when you don't have the call, unless you go in full explodey face, because you can put your thing above 50, and you get your thing above 50 constantly using your sword with their boosted abilities.
Yeah.
Same thing with your utility skills.
Which is what I like.
Yeah.
I definitely.
I'm not so much into the. I'm not so much into the explode yourself build, but I like keeping the energy between 50 and
There's definitely I would say it's definitely going to see play in all 3 game modes actually for NG actually. I would say.
Seems like it, yeah. But is the reason why we like this so much because it's so powerful right now? Is that the only reason we like it so much? Because it's just so much damage right now?
So, not for me. So for me, the reason that and I'm generally not a big fan of Engineer. 150. There's a 150 trade as well, Frost. The reason that I like it is a couple of reasons. Number one, I think that the skills on it look good. I think that the Hollowsmith stance, the heat stance, whatever that's Forge, I think not only is it visually appealing, but that the skills feel good as well. They feel smooth.
Yeah.
I think it gives you options on
what you want to do.
What to do, what you want to do with it. And I think that the utilities are also really good, like really useful.
They're good. I think for me, the main reason I like it so much is not all those reasons you just stated, but the heat mechanic is a really cool mechanic.
Yep, and it's well designed. The way it interacts with the traits is very good. It's all
exactly. The traits, there's like many different ways to use the heat mechanic, not because of those 3 Grandmasters.
Yeah.
And it's really good.
Yeah. But I'm a really big fan of how the Grandmaster pretty drastically affects the gameplay, you know? With the whole heat management or what you actually do with the core mechanic of the class changes based on what trait you pick there. I think that's a really, really great piece of design. It's the class is extremely well designed, I would say.
I agree.
As an elite specialization.
And I think even if right now it's overtuned, possibly, even if they reduce the damage by like 10% or something, it would still be a fun class to play.
Yep.
It'd still be a good, Great. Holomancer, easy.
So,
Holomancer? Boots? Holomancer?
You know I'm never going to call it anything else, right? I'm never going to call it Holo, whatever that last word is. Some last name of people that use hammers.
You know what? The only thing that needs to be changed about Holosmith?
Holomancer, you mean?
Holomancer, yeah. They should make the other weapons interact with heat, dude.
Yes, that I saw a thread about that, and I kind of agree with it.
Why?
I kind of agree with it.
Yeah, it should do that shit, man.
Yeah, because otherwise, absolutely. I agree. A rifle that's affected with heat would be really cool.
And pistols, it should exude onto the entire class. It would be amazing.
Mm-hmm. When above 50% heat, the flamethrower on your pistol
is even flamier.
It's even flamier.
It's even flamier, dude. Even better. Yeah. Just even more overpowered. And they
don't even have to do every single skill on each weapon. They could just do 1 or 2 skills on each weapon.
Just have 1 or 2,
There's a couple of things to bring up, though. So Roka talks about the visual noise. I like the visual noise. I know that most people don't. But Hollowsmith and Scourge are both real big on visual noise. Big time. Let's
go on a tangent. Damn, they all look great. Everything looks amazing. It's beautiful. Like of all the visual cancer they put into the expansion. It looks awesome, man. It looks so cool.
Big time.
Will it be a problem for maybe a little bit of visibility?
If you want to actually see what's happening, then it's a problem.
But it looks amazing.
The other thing, there's 2 other things too. So one, there's about problems with synergy between Hollowsmith and core engineer, and there are synergistic problems there. But I mean, that probably won't get overly highlighted by some people until they nerf the damage on Hollowsmith itself.
Probably,
which could be a problem, right? I'm not saying that it's not a problem. And the third thing is, I see people keep talking about the Asura technology because that's what ArenaNet quoted, but that ArenaNet sort of made a little bit of a misstep because it's not so much Asuran technology as it is about the Zephyrite's technology. Hollowsmith uses their crystals to power itself.
So which one are they going to change, though?
There's a bit of... Well, I think that they won't even address it, unfortunately. But there's a bit of a lore misconception or problem there from the devs. Not that really means anything mechanic-wise, but yeah.
And the Hollowsmith you meet in the desert is also a human who says, we found Zephyrite stuff.
Right, about Zephyrite crystals and not Asura technology.
Yeah. Oh, well.
Yeah. Smith, I've got nothing bad to say about Horseman, man.
Okay, what are we missing now?
Weaver.
There's a lot of classes. Weaver.
That's it, isn't it?
Wait, Weaver is it.
Is that it?
We didn't miss anything else. Yeah.
Wait.
Hold
Yeah.
on.
They're just Weaver, right?
Yeah. Just Weaver.
Weaver.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Weaver.
Yeah.
Weaver.
And
Elementals.
then Teapot gets to go to sleep.
Isn't it? Maybe. What the hell's going on? Again, in my.
Are you all right?
Yeah, there are noises, dude. There are noises.
You're hallucinating.
There are
You
noises.
need sleep.
Ah! But yeah, Weaver is... I mean, the theme of it is great. Again, like, it's a really cool thing to have. But I was... You know what? I'm disappointed, ArenaNet. I was expecting this to be completely broken. And I don't think it is. I don't think it's broken at all, guys. I actually think it's a very fair spec as well. Like, if anything, at least in... Might even be a tiny bit undertuned, even, really. Yeah, there's fucking ghosts here, guys. Yeah, it's got some very cool stuff. I think it has the... Well, maybe I'm saying that because it's not what I was kind of hoping it to be. I was hoping it to be, like, literally Dagger 2. You're doing everything. You're healing. You're kind of tanking stuff. You're doing... What the fuck? You're doing sick DPS all at the same time.
Those noises also.
Okay? Yeah, there are things, dude. There are things. There's things exploding outside. But anyway, yeah. I don't know, man. It's good. It's good.
I think
just...
Weaver is a lot in my mind right now like Soul Beast in that it's good, it makes sense. It's not as powerful as I thought it was going to be necessarily, but there's a lot more depth to it than we can currently do in one weekend. There's because I mean, some of those traits, some of those Weaver, not traits, some of those skills on Weaver, the new skills, are deceptively powerful. Like Water 2 on Sword, for example, is a 1 1/4 second evade. And that's great. But then when you consider that there's a lot more evades that you could have access to as an Ellie who builds for it properly, you could have not a permanent evade Ellie, but you could have something a little ridiculous.
No, it's very beefy. It's very sustainable, very survivable indeed.
Survivable, but I think like there's so many new skills added to it that are accessible now, all at the same time, that you could make a purpose instead of just an all-around thing like a dagger guy you were talking about, which would be strong. You could make a purpose-driven Weaver that could be very strong, very overpowered.
Yeah, and I think Weaver is going to be the spec that we have to watch here. I think that we need to have a lot more time with it to really see what it can do, right? In these situations. I mean, because it's going to be one of those classes that you need to be very experienced with to actually get the job done, right? And I think it will probably end up basically increasing in strength just because people have more time to play it.
Exactly. That was the problem with Elementalists at the beginning of the game. Nobody really knew how to play Elementalist properly for the first 6 months of the game.
Exactly.
And everybody was like, "Oh, I'm a fire Ellie. Oh no, I'm an earth Ellie." And then something clicked, and they were like, "Oh, you're supposed to swap between all attunements and use all of your skills."
Oh,
and
then... I think yeah. I think it will certainly seem a lot stronger down the line. I think there'll be. I think now it will probably seem weaker than it actually is. And don't get me wrong, it seems strong, right? It definitely seems strong. It has a lot of access to barrier, a lot of sustain. It's even pretty fast as well. You got plenty of mobility, evades, all that stuff. And even the elite skill is really cool as well. It's actually really good. But it's good as fuck, right? But I think it's going to be time will tell just how amazing Weaver really is going to be. And my one complaint is that some of the sword skills just it honestly feels like it takes longer than a PvP match to actually land like a single sword skill. Like some of the skills are so fucking slow, dude. It's like, ugh. And you kind of like lift the sword. It's so heavy. And
too heavy.
And you eventually manage to hit people with it.
Too heavy.
Yeah, you always, did too much leg day. Just always skipped arm day. Like that would be something I would say about it. But overall, I think it's still going to be pretty good. Wait, what the hell is this from Zach Lincoln?
Oh boy.
What the hell is this? Air Staff Tempest. Talking about. This is just a text Air Staff Tempest. Nothing else, man. Yeah, the anime again. You do this crazy spinning animation on Water Sword 2. It's really cool, dude. But yeah, I think Weave will be good. I think in PvE it will probably end up being pretty strong. Just the amount of stats it gives you, you know. It gives you a lot of.
Yeah.
It just gives you raw stats. I feel like it will probably end up getting used just for those raw stats.
Yeah, and I think I talked about this last time too, but weave self is something that people are not going to use properly for a while until they figure out that you only weave between 2 or 3 things if you're in PvE doing damage, because that way you have 30 seconds of a 20% con debuff.
Yeah, it's good
instead of 10 seconds. Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. There's a lot of strength to it. At the end of the day, what do you guys think about making weapons from the old elite specs available all the time? I don't know about that, guys. That might be pretty.
Who asked that?
One up.
What was the question? What do you guys think about making weapons?
I have to really think about that. I think that might. I don't know. I feel like that would take away like a bit of that uniqueness from the elite specs, right? You get a new weapon associated with the specialization, so I don't think I would really want to go to that, you know.
No crossing the streams.
Yeah. ArenaNet planning to add hybrid builds to PvE? Well, I mean, hybrid builds are just Condi builds, right, guys? I mean...
there's 2 types of hybrid, right? It's hybrid is a Condi build for PvE, but I guess there's also hybrid healing / damage that you can
I think Soul Beast, Weaver, and Hollow are the best examples. I mean, the hybridization will be if you have a build that only applies one condition. This is where you get a true hybrid, because here you would then run that grieving stat, right? So instead of Viper, you would trade the duration for Ferocity, and then you'd get your duration from a Smoldering Sigil and Balthazar in for burning, right? Or something like that. And you mix in grieving, so you get ferocity, so you get that power damage. And that's where you could see something like that with Weaver, right? You could have burning, but you also have the power damage, right? If you were on Holosmith, you have access to burning, a lot of burning, right? So you'd have the power damage, because the Photon Forge has a lot of power damage, Sword is power damage. But then you could have, say, a pistol offhand, right? For the Condi, for burning. And also use the burning traits and the burning from the Photon Forge and also the traits in Holosmith. And that, honestly, that could actually be a real thing, right? That could actually be pretty legit. Oh yeah, Flame Legions or something like that, right? So you actually use the Condi in these setups, right? So
is burning too powerful?
Is burning too powerful? Probably not. I mean, you could do the same with bleeding, right? You could do the same. Suppose you were a class that applied only bleeding. The only reason it's burning, I'm saying burning here, is because there are a lot of classes like Guardian that apply only burning, right? Or Ellie applies mostly burning on its kind of burning and bleed, right? But the burning is what you'd go for if you were going to play Ellie, right?
Yeah, I guess so. I guess it's kind of similar. Just bleed is longer duration and burning is higher damage.
Yeah.
In general, yeah. Okay.
So I mean that's why I go with that. So yeah, I mean I actually, you know, on the last TeaTime, Nike market manipulated hard, guys. We have to actually get the call out here. I'm gonna call him out right now. He said that Flame Legion runes are gonna be really good on Holosmith. Okay. And what happened, guys? Flame Legion runes went up like 3 times after that TeaTime, guys. A literal market manipulator. I bet he already had 50 stacks. I bet he already had 50 stacks ready, and he just cashed out. What the hell is it? What the hell, Zach? You got me good, man. But there we go. An easy call out there, but yeah. It's definitely a really good... I really like that. I really like the fact that we're going to get kind of that third subcategory where you're going to use... you know, maybe we do see some play out of the grieving stat type with the power, precision, frosty conditioners, right? I think that would be really cool to like get a bit.
So
more
wait, what's
variety.
the precision on it? What's the precision on grieving? Is it lower or higher?
It's power, condition damage, major, frosty, precision minor.
Oh,
just like yeah, exactly, right. So as long as you've got the duration, you're good.
Yeah, I would run that.
Yeah.
I was mentioning that there's probably going to be a lot more either low precision or no precision damagey stat combinations, hopefully in Path of Fire, because of the fact that just in the last balance patch,
Guardian,
and then Guardian, for example, I think at least half the classes, if not more than half the classes now, including with the new elite specs coming out, have like a way to bypass precision up to like 60-70% for all the classes, for at least half the classes. There's Guardian now. Warrior could do it in certain ways. Thief can... Renegade, definitely. Renegade goes up to 77% without any precision. What else is there? Thief, with stealth. and especially now with the new function of stealth with the revealed, right?
There's plenty of places you can do it. Plenty of ways you can do it.
Yeah, so
that's what they want to do. That's what they want to do. They want to actually get some diversity, because otherwise, that's the only way you're truly going to get rid of Berserker gear in some situations, right? Obviously, Berserker's still going to be good, obviously, but that's what they want to do. They want to make it so it's not just, well, guess I'll run full Berserker or I'll run full Viper, right? You're actually going to get Nemesis is finally. You're actually going to get legit hybrid builds.
Papa Nemesis would be
Papa
proud.
Nemesis, he'd be proud of ArenaNet. We're finally going to get legitimate hybrid builds. I know this is probably daily quest, but I'm going to click it anyway. Wait, no, it's just a picture of Nike, actually. Never mind.
Having a good time.
Yeah, having a good time.
Do we have questions from people? Oh, why do we have so many people watching? What's going on?
Because, dude, it's tea time.
There's always this many people watching. I don't know what you're talking about.
It's hype, dude.
That's not true. That's not true. Is
Follow
there some
MMO
sort of
Inks
thing
on
coming
Twitter.
out soon?
But no,
or-
do not follow it. Do you know what? Do you know what, Inks? There is a guild, okay? There is a guild on Underworld, okay? That they rep it in World vs. World, and it's Inks as the tag, and it's follow
I
MMO
know.
Inks on Twitter. You seen that shit?
Wait, what?
Yeah.
No, it isn't. No,
it is.
isn't.
That is the guild name. The guild name is follow Inks on Twitter or something like that.
Awesome. I love it.
Okay.
You have to take a screenshot.
No,
That's
I'm
funny.
just saying. Wait, it's Trollkey. Trollkey's the leader. Trollkey, hook me up, dude. I bet you're in chat, man. He made it.
That is hilarious.
He's
That
here.
is-
Like, you're getting shilled everywhere, man. It's uncontrollable. What was that?
Oh, that is hilarious.
Would Marauder stats work with Weaver? In what game mode? I think you probably don't run that in PvP. I think you run Sage. I think I don't know. I don't know what I haven't really seen like a lot of people playing around, but I'd probably go with Sage Amulet.
I think that's what Fantaram does.
Well, there we go then.
Yeah.
He probably knows what he's talking about. You know, he's Ellie main and all that. Yeah. Let's see.
Twitter
But
war.
yeah.
It's fun.
Just for a
Question.
recap, yeah. I mean, no one's going. They're gonna ask us like fucking troll questions, man. They're gonna troll the fuck out of us.
Yeah, I love troll questions.
Yeah. If we just go for a little bit of a summary, guys, we can kind of recap it just for everyone here. Let's see. Firebrand, it's amazing. Probably really good in PvE and World vs.
Probably
World.
too good right now.
Yeah, probably a little bit too good in World vs. World, especially in PvE. I think it would definitely see play. What else have we got? PvP,
Scourge.
kind of a bit meh. Scourge, by far the most overpowered thing ever in World vs. World. Also very, very strong in PvP. PvE could see play. We're not quite sure yet, right? I think that's fair.
We have to see.
Yeah. What else have we got? Soul Beast. Bit disappointing, but probably good in PvE at least. Maybe.
It'll be good in PvE.
Yeah.
And it's what Rangers wanted.
Yes. Finally satisfied the stupid pet AI questions, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we'll have to see in PvP how those extra skills help out our
Right
Rangers.
now, it's disappointing in PvP and World vs. World.
Yeah. But you can do some really. I would say in PvP, I would say Soul Beast, and roaming, I'd say Soul Beast has hope in both of those.
Yeah, roaming.
Because
Yeah.
you can do some hilarious burst combos, right? With all the modifiers you can stack up. I would definitely say that Soul Beast will probably end up seeing play in PvP and World vs. World roaming. Maybe if they retune it so you get more resistance and stability, like better boon output on Soul Beast, you can definitely get it used in World vs. World as well, right? For the stability and resistance, because it does have access to some AoE resistance, but I don't think enough right now. And then you could just have Greatsword and just destroy people. I honestly think like some kind of Greatsword build, and then maybe you have like Greatsword and then Sword Dagger to spam evades or something on the offset or something like that. I'm not a huge expert on Ranger, honestly. You can do insane cleave damage with that, like some sick burst combos, but you're also supporting the team with stability and stuff. Could be good.
Yeah, like
But
it
we'll have
has
to see.
AoE. It has AoE resistance, but the cooldown on it is too long, and so basically you only get it for a couple of seconds during a push, and then that's it.
Yeah, so I think definitely needs some retuning there, but I think it could be. I think with a few tweaks, I think it could definitely be good. Definitely a strong choice.
Also, something I didn't think about.
Especially
for a
small
while.
scale, actually, especially in small scale stuff.
Until people really start to learn to recognize the new class symbols, the new professional elite spec symbols. Soul Beast might have a nice time pretending to be some other class.
No way.
And then suddenly bringing it out.
No.
suddenly bringing
No.
out,
No, trust me. These people aren't going to miss Rangers. They're going to mouse over. If they see Ranger, instant kick, man. Instant kick.
No, I mean like if you're like in a fight with somebody and someone's coming up to you with a greatsword or somebody's just coming up to you
you're not gonna
with some
know.
weapon and there's no pet. You're like,
Oh,
okay,
it
I
said
don't know
no
what this
pet?
is yet. No
Not gonna know.
pet yet, and then all of a sudden the
Yeah.
pet's behind you.
That makes a lot of sense, actually, dude.
Yeah.
Dude. I like
But
that.
yes,
I like
instant
the
kick.
stealth mode. Stealth mode. That's good. That's good.
I just think that they need to reduce the cooldown on a number of the stances.
I would agree with that. Or put a trait on it. Maybe a 33% trait. That might be a little bit too extreme, actually.
Something like that.
Or maybe a duration increase as well. Maybe tweak the way the
That's true. You do see the
stance share.
leaves.
Ah,
of
shit.
the
You'll
pet
know.
buff.
No,
Uh,
exposed.
Uh,
Yeah.
Oh, except everybody's going to turn off all of their effects because of Holomancer, so they won't see anything.
Ah, a good suggestion here, actually. Maybe the stances of ammo, right? Like an ammo on the stance. Like you get 2 charges on a shared cooldown. Yeah, I could see
Guys,
that.
you'll be able to tell by their legendary armor silhouette.
Oh, nice. Very nice meme. Oh,
Good job.
clapper in the chat, guys. But yeah, I think definitely there's promise. There's there's light at the end of the tunnel for Ranger, guys, especially in World vs. World. I think it might be pretty fucking good. Let's see, what should we... Deadeye? One of I would say one of the
Wait, I have a good...
one of the coolest designs. One of the coolest designs on it, I would say. One of the coolest designs on an Elite Specialization. Really switches it up. Great design by ArenaNet. A lot of fun to play, I would definitely say. And honestly, it might be good. It might be tricky. I mean, obviously in World vs. World, you're not going to see it in a Zerg, right? You'll see it in roaming, just trolling the fuck out of people. PvE, there's actually some kind of funny things you can do, right? You can do a lot of might stacking on it, actually. You can stack boons on your buddies as well and help them out. Actually, that's something we didn't talk about with Scourge. Scourge can stack like 25 might permanently. We didn't talk about the might stacking, man, but we'll talk about that. I don't know.
Everybody could do might stacking now.
Yeah, loads of stuff can do might stacking now, man.
Yeah,
a lot of people
classes
can. I really like where they're going with that. A lot of people can stack a lot of might. Like even Firebrand can actually stack a hell of a lot of might.
Is that why they weren't so hesitant in buffing or leaving Condi warrior damage the way it is, and even PS Condi warrior damage?
No, because that doesn't really help at all. Because you still want banners in them.
Right. Yeah. Fair enough. But you only need one. You only need one warrior for banners.
Yeah. I mean, if warrior's still broken though, I mean, you still take it, right?
Yeah. Yeah. But the thing is, you don't need 2 warriors now to give might as well.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, apparently it wasn't. No, guys, it wasn't. It wasn't Trollkey. It was Moonshine who made the guild. So, well, what a god, Moonshine. What a fucking legend. Sorry, Boots. Go ahead.
I don't know.
And I had no idea. I had no idea about this guild. You just told me about it.
And now you know, dude.
I was unaware.
Yeah.
It's a good guild. How many people are in it?
I don't know. I'm not even in the guild, man.
Moonshine?
I'm not even in the guild.
Yeah, add Inks. Add Inks. What the fuck? Add Inks. Get him in there. Yeah. What else? What else have we got? Wait. Do we finish talking about... Yeah, Mirage seems to be undertuned right now. Also, weird anti-synergy because they didn't change the profession mechanic, which they probably could have maybe done. Or at least alter the profession mechanic in a way that doesn't kind of like anti-synergize itself. Also, Chrono's really good. That's why it doesn't seem that good. That's kind of the main issue. The insanity that is Chronomancer does have a little bit of a tendency to overshadow. And yeah, I mean, in PvE, you're still going to run Chronos, probably, maybe. Because of quickness, lack, distort, too much compression there. PvP...
I gotta wait till QT says yes.
Yeah. PvE... Well, I mean, it's a buff. Don't get me wrong. It's still a buff. You might run... You can probably run DPS Mirages, definitely, right? It's still going to be decent.
Yeah.
It is a buff. Apparently, I've heard from some people that they reckon it's going to be about 3k DPS increase on Condi Mesmer or something like that. So it is going to be buffing it up a bit. But don't
is
take...
That without...
we haven't... Again, like I said, no, we've never seen any benchmarks, but that's what it's maybe is. I don't know. That's what I've heard.
Is that without people giving you additional endurance and dodge rolls?
Well, I mean, I don't know, man. Like maybe if you have perma vigor, it's better. But like you're not gonna waste that just for one person, dude. Maybe. Oh.
I don't know, man. Maybe you do.
That's why you run Soul Beast, because Soul Beast gives people dodges.
Exactly. That's the only reason.
Yeah,
and
that's it. We found its use.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, people are gonna run Viper. What's it called? Condi Thief anyway, because it's crazy powerful also.
Yeah.
And Condi Thief has Sigma of Agility, so that's gonna benefit the Mesmer as well.
Condi Thief. Wait, does it have Signet Agility?
Or it used to. Maybe it doesn't anymore.
I don't think it does, dude. It doesn't run like doesn't
because
run.
the utility skills don't do a lot of
Dude,
damage.
it runs double venom and Caltrops, doesn't it?
I thought it was only one venom in Caltrops.
No, because the immobilized now.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's right. You're right.
Are you noob? What the fuck?
Oh yeah, definitely noob. When's the last time I raided with you guys?
It's been a long time.
It's been too long.
It's been a long time.
You need to come hang with us. You'll feel so alone.
For me as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway.
Thanks, Nike. Thanks, Nike.
Get wrecked, dude. Wow. Deadeye is really cool, but wait, Mirage is really. It's cool. It's a cool theme, but I think it needs some tweaks, redesigns, even to the way it interacts with all like the base Mesmer stuff. Because right now it doesn't really complement it. Like Chronomancer complemented it perfectly. It was like a strict upgrade. Let's be real here. And it just needs to actually work a little bit better. Although I really like the idea of it, and like it's kind of what base Mesmer was supposed to be, as we keep repeating, right? It's all deceptive and clones. Ooh, clones, cool. But whatever, man. Like it's not quite there yet. It needs a little bit of improvement. What's next? Holosmith.
I don't know.
Holosmith. It's amazing, dude. It's amazing. Be a terrorist. Be a resource manager. Okay? All of these things you can be. Okay? With the new Holosmith. It's going to probably see play everywhere. I really like it. What do you guys think about Holosmith?
Love it.
As a summary.
Like Holosmith.
Yeah. Renegade, good in PvE, probably kind of meh everywhere else. There you go.
Renegade will be good for PvE.
Oh, here we go.
That's about
Tempest.
Wait, what? Tempest?
Sorry, I was thinking Tempest.
Weaver?
Think about this, okay?
Weaver? Tempest? What?
What?
Let's say you have a Tempest in a raid.
Yeah.
Okay. The first, the minor trait choice doesn't really matter that much, right?
I know what trait you're talking about. You don't really get that much endurance out of that trait.
Latent stamina?
No, you don't get that much out of it. It's only when you attune. It's like 15, isn't it?
No. It's when you attune, you get vigor to nearby allies.
Yeah.
But you restore 10 endurance every time you give vigor to allies.
It's got an cooldown, hasn't it?
It's got an internal cooldown. I think just for the granting when you attune.
No.
No, are you sure?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
It's got 10-second cooldown for when you. Wait, let's look it up. What's the trait called?
We should look that up. Yeah. It does have a 10-second cooldown, but I thought that was only for the attuning to water one.
Yeah. Wait. What's the trait called? Let me look. I'm gonna look up on the wiki. I'll read the wiki.
Latent stamina.
Latent stamina. Yeah, of course. Right. Wiki, tell us the answer.
Wiki knows all.
The internal cooldown. Oh shit! The endurance gain. Wait, no, hang on. Whoa. Oh, wait, no, Boots. This only gives vigor to yourself, man.
What? What are you talking about?
It says apply vigor. Granting vigor to allies also restores a portion of endurance. Doesn't it give it to you?
It says to allies.
Does it give to allies?
Yeah.
I mean, but how do you give vigor though if you're playing DPS Tempest?
That's a good question.
You don't. But yeah, no, it doesn't have an internal cooldown. It just applies to the vigor.
Well, there you
gain.
go. Okay, so it's just you're just knocking them down one by one. If I'm wrong about something, you know that I'm going to be wrong about something in everything I say. So I wasn't wrong about the internal cooldown. That's fine, but you got to find something. I think you might have found it. How do you give vigor as a Tempest? We're good. Now I'm wrong, so I'm happy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes, I know it's a 10-second internal cooldown, but I think that's only
if you were healing Tempest, every time you'd use a shout and put regen, you'd give 10 endurance. But then you have to play healing Tempest.
And that's not so bad.
Druid. But I mean, think about it. That's not too bad though, because I mean, if you have major druids, you'll have perma vigor.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
I mean, it's still.
You know what we need? We need Might Makes Right to give AoE 5 endurance every time you give yourself Might as a warrior.
That might be a little bit overpowered, Boots, I have to say. That might be a little bit too strong. I mean, yeah, Dodgers are going to be a DPS increase, but it's not going to be that much of a DPS increase. I mean, bear in mind, you'll still probably want pistol phantasms, man.
Yeah, you would. Probably.
You're not going to have clones. Like, clones don't do shit, man. They look 3 damage.
The damage themselves, no, but it's the condies they put on.
With the ambush.
Yeah.
But
And they put on condies without the ambush, too.
I think you probably still want phantasms, though, right? Pistol phantasms.
Yeah,
maybe.
I mean, Mirage as a spec, it's all about, like, forgetting about phantasms if you can.
Yeah.
So I don't know. We'll have to see.
It feels like the ambush is for bursting, not for sustained DPS. Though. Well, we'll have to see. We'll have to see.
I feel like this is a boots back build derail.
I feel like we're gonna have. We've been derailed. We have to forestall judgment on these on this for PVE, right? Because we have to see we have to see numbers. We have to see. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay. So Hamato says you still want. Also Hamato's back. Hello.
Yeah, Hamato.
You want phantasms? There we go.
You still want phantasms? Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll have to see numbers, guys. Don't take our word for this just quite yet. We haven't seen. We have no PVE tests, right? So we'll have to.
You don't have to take our word for it.
Yeah. Just, but take everything we say as gospel, though, dude.
Dude, don't do that. You can't do that.
Yes.
Thanks. You're gonna have to pay the company that owns the original Reading Rainbow.
Lamar. No,
LeVar Burton tried to said that in his podcast, and the company that owns Reading Rainbow is suing him because of it.
Holy shit!
I love it.
It's terrible. It's terrible.
Yeah. He was the guy who delivered the line, and he can't even say it.
Yeah. It's bad stuff.
Wow, they're desperate for money. Don't sue me. I don't have any.
Yeah. So yeah. Mirage a little bit memed. Now Weaver, I don't know. It's really cool. It's really fun to play. The stances are good. A good chunk of them as well. Like all the utility skills are really fun to use as well. I love the design of the spec. I love the feel of it. You know, you feel exactly how it is, dude. It's a Weaver. Okay, probably good in PvE. Probably decent in PvP, and will probably get better because people will learn how to play it, and it will turn out to be completely broken. It was busted this entire time, but people just learned to play, dude. I think it'll be strong.
I feel like it felt a little bit undertuned, but it's also I have no idea what the hell I'm doing, so
yeah,
probably a big factor.
Yeah. And you know what? I even think that there might actually be play in World vs. World, but as like a DPS. You won't see it as... I don't think you'll see it as some kind of frontline support, because Tempest is that, but just way better. But I think you might see some kind of like maybe staff build that just sits back and nukes people from behind and just wrecks people, because you have got some survivability built into the utilities, which will kind of complement the squishy backline thingy. And then, yeah, like maybe we'll see play there. Like you just destroy everything, man. But other than that, Tempest is still going to be very, very strong. But that's good. There's no overlap. Again, it's well designed. It doesn't overlap with Tempest really on any level.
Good.
Yeah, it's good. Good design. Good design. I like it. I like the sword a lot. It's really cool. All the abilities are amazing. Yeah, Starfield with lightning rod. Exactly, man. See, exactly. Like you can just fucking wreck people. So yeah, there's going to be a lot of build variety there, and a lot of stuff that it's going to be able to do. Just Ellie things, right? That's what Ellie does, man. That's how it goes. But yeah. Let's see.
Great, good summary.
Is that all of them?
That's it.
How can I not... Renegade! Wait, did we talk about Renegade?
We did not talk about Renegade.
Just in general?
I don't think.
Did we?
Or did we?
Did we?
We talked about it, we just didn't do the sum up, I don't think.
Did we do... Yeah, we talked about it.
Sum up.
We definitely talked about it, but did we do the summary?
The sum up is it's going to be, Condi Renegade will be good for PvE and not so much anywhere else. We did do Deadeye.
Yeah, we did Deadeye. We didn't do Spellbreaker. We didn't do Spellbreaker.
And also, it's got some crazy, unique buffs for its utility and elite, the Renegade.
Yeah.
Spellbreaker.
We didn't do Spellbreaker. Spellbreaker.
Game-changing in World vs. World.
Game-changing, man. It's got some stuff we've never seen before, and it's all amazing, dude. Warrior's back in PvP, boys. Warrior's back, lads. Okay, it's fucking back. All right. I like Spellbreaker a lot. Yeah, exactly. You're goddamn right, GD Bringer. It's amazing fun to play. It's going to be good in PvP as well. It's got a lot of stuff that's going to be good there. You're going to be dropping the aids all over the place, like ripping everyone's boons, doing insane damage, getting resistance, smashing people into the ground with hammers and greatswords. It's fucking hype, dude. It's legit hype. Okay, legit hype. Warrior is reborn, my friends. It's like Core Warrior but on steroids, dude. It's back. It's back. Hell yeah.
Agreed.
We did. Wait, did we talk? Did we talk about Firebrand? I feel like we did.
We did. That was the first one you did.
That was like the first one we talked about, guys.
Everything is like a haze.
Yeah, I'm sorry, guys. Like, for some reason, I seem to be tired today. I can't think why. But yeah, I'm getting killed in the
How much
game.
sleep did you get?
I slept like 18 hours, man, but it still wasn't enough. I drained my battery fully during that 24-hour stream, man. It's fully
Nice.
drained. Yeah, I think that's basically it then. Like, do you guys have any thoughts on Spellbreaker to get the easy sum up?
No. I think you summed it up pretty well.
Yeah. Oh yeah, in PvE, Spellbreaker, Berserker.
Oh yeah.
Rip. Berserker still exists, so yeah, I doubt it.
Right.
In its current state, that is. In its current state. And that's what they wanted, right? Again, it's good design by ArenaNet. They're going to let the Spellbreaker be the thing in World vs. World and PvP. And then you have Berserker in PvE for the DPS, right? And the support.
Although, you know what? PvE, like, damage-wise, maybe not so great compared to Berserker. But, I don't know, maybe a new raid or something will call for a specific type of tank. And a full counter might be a really good way to tank. 8-second cooldown, reduce all damage dealt to you.
But then you have Mesmer, and you have Blood, Frenzy, and Shield, and Distortion.
Yes, you also have Mesmer.
Yeah. And then if you want Boon Pressure, then you just run Necro.
Yeah.
Or Mesmer, again, with the auto attack. If you need very heavy Boon Pressure, you'd run Necro, though, I'd say. Or Rev, even, like, with a Condi Rev with Corruption, like, you can rip a lot of boons with that, right? If you really need to. Like, there's better options than Spellbreaker that sacrifice less. Like, you don't really sacrifice a lot to corrupt boons on Necro. You on Warrior, you'd kind of have to sack some stuff, right? So, and yeah, you can play Phalanx Strength Spellbreaker. You can do it, but I just don't think it's going to be good. I don't think it's going to be worth, right? But yeah. All right. I think that's about it then.
What would happen if Condi Warrior PS got nerfed so hard that
No. Stop.
Okay.
But then but if they do that, then they
Oh my God.
even if they nerfed it by like 10k DPS, you'd still take it.
You'd still take it because of the banner.
Yeah, and empower allies. You can't.
The Warriors get banners anyway.
Yeah, oh, that's true, right? You'd still. Wait. Oh.
As a Spellbreaker, you still have banners.
You still have banners, I guess. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
But
So
then-
I'm getting flashbacks of that time
then Warrior has, but then Warrior has no DPS option. Like they can't just delete it. And
Yeah.
they'd have to.
Yeah.
They could jiggle the traits, right? They could jiggle the traits and kind of fuck stuff.
Yeah, you gotta jiggle the traits. That's what balance is all about, jiggling traits.
If you jiggle some of the traits around, yeah, you could kind of nerf PS without nerfing Condi Warrior. But I don't. Come on, dude. What?
Yeah, I don't want that to happen.
Why can't you just let the ridiculously overpowered class stay overpowered, Boots? Come on, dude.
Exactly. Yeah, leave it that way.
Yeah, just leave it.
You don't need Spellbreaker to be good in PvE too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. No, I
Exactly.
know it doesn't have to be good, but and even then, would you play it if it did the same DPS? Why would you? No, you wouldn't, because you don't have Headbutt, so you lose CC. Like, why? The only utility you'd be getting is the Boon Pressure, right?
Mm.
So it would have to do more damage, I think.
Yeah, and it doesn't.
And it doesn't.
Yeah.
And then there'll just be a weird overlap between the two, so that would be bad design. Right?
Agreed.
So I think it's best if it kind of stays like this, and maybe they tweak Berserker so you still have high damage, but you have to invest to get PS, and maybe it kind of cucks your DPS if you go for the support build. Right?
Yeah. I'm just wishing that at some point you get a good power damage warrior for PvE and a good power damage Necro for PvE. I don't know if it's ever going to happen though.
We might see on launch, right? We might see on launch. There could be some buffs to power.
Yeah, maybe. All right, I guess we're good.
Yeah. Do you have any final thoughts, Inks, on any of those elite specializations? Just want to lay it down.
Really enjoyed Hollowsmith probably the most. Soul Beast needs a little bit of work, but it's not too terrible. I'll be interested to see. Like, for me, I'm way more interested in the PvE side of things, obviously, so finding a golem that I can actually test things on was a headache, and made the weekend a little bit more difficult for me. And also, I'm not a real big... some of these conversations, unfortunately, I'm not the biggest build craft guy. I'm not a boots, good or bad builds. I'm just an inks, no builds. I have nothing. So Soul Beast needs some work, which is obviously the big one I'm invested in. Renegade, meh, it'll be good for PvE. And then Hollow Smith was the big winner for me. It's the one I enjoyed playing the most.
For Soul Beast, are you worried about how it'll feel when your pet is inside of you?
Ooh. Ooh.
Oh. I'm a little worried about that bristle back inside of me. Yeah, no, I don't know. I just feel like Condi Ranger is kind of my go-to for a long time, and I think it'll be better. It's just a bit more of the same. Power Ranger might see some play, which could be interesting. So we'll see. The big thing was I was really hoping for world versus world improvements, and it doesn't seem like we really got that.
I don't know. I don't think I'd agree with that. I think it's going in the right direction.
Yeah,
I think they intend to.
I mean, from a Zerg standpoint, not talking about roaming, obviously. I think it needs work still.
Yeah.
So.
I think there's potential when they tweak the stances. I think I can definitely see Soul Beast being played in a Zerg though, if they fix the way the stances work and maybe give it more access to resistance or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I think that would do it. Like if they change the way that stance share works, they make it a bit better, reduce the cooldowns, give some more resistance. You might actually see it, dude. You might see it happen. But yeah, I mean, Inks, can you confirm that you will actually be creating another character for the expansion then?
Well, I will for story. I will. We've already on stream the other day. We voted. There'll be a video in a couple of days about why you should maybe decide to be a human for the expansion, story-wise. So for story-wise, I'll be playing a female Revenant, human female Revenant is what I'll be playing for story.
But you're going to play Holosmith as well.
I'll be trying a bunch of them out. I mean, I got to get their achievements anyway, so.
I think you need to
we'll see.
Name your characters something that like reflects their limited time on this earth.
Limited lifetime.
Their limited lifespans.
Totally an aside thing, but I actually got a list the other day. Since 2013, they can't go back further, so who knows how many I deleted in 2012. But since 2013, I've only deleted 28 level 80s. So, I mean, that doesn't count some of the lower classes, I guess. But 28 level 80s, that's not that many.
What? That's a lot!
Level 80s. That's a lot.
That's more characters than I have right now. That's more characters than I have right now, dude.
I thought it was more than that. 28 isn't
what
that
the hell?
bad.
That's so many, dude. What the fuck?
That's more than George R. R. Martin.
That's more characters than I've ever had, man.
Yeah.
Wow.
There you go.
That's a lot.
So,
what? I'm not. I was going to say why.
We won't get into the why and all
No.
that stuff. It's not important. It's not important. Yeah. But I thought it was higher than 28. I really did. But anyway.
Wow.
We'll see a resurrection soon, perhaps.
Are any of them going to come back?
I think they're coming back with these elite specs.
We'll see.
Like the names, the original characters, like Tommy Tuttle or something?
Well,
that was a good name,
man.
That's the Ranger.
The original.
Yeah, that's the. Isn't
I get a birthday. Yeah, because I get a birthday gift. Yeah. So Tommy gets to stay because birthday. So most Guild Wars 2's 5th birthday. Got to get my present.
You got to get those presents with Creek Month.
Right.
It's really soon.
That's right.
It's really soon. Anyway, I think that pretty much rounds it up, guys. See, it's time to chill, guys. It's time to get the payoff. Okay, Boots. Ooh, yeah. What are you up to? You've been streaming. You haven't come back to streaming.
I did a stream. Well, not coming back to streaming. That's a very strong sentence. I don't know if it's going to continue that long, but yeah, I streamed. It was fun. Streamed for like 3 hours and a half or something. But I feel like if I'm going to stream more often, I got to do it with people because I feel like I'm just talking to myself, and it's really weird just talking to yourself while you're playing games. It's
you gotta get the boy. You gotta get dude. Just. You may not approve this idea, but just let people in the Salt Discord know. Just let them know. If I see you, I'll host you, but just let them know. Just say just say that you're gonna stream. Okay, they'll turn song requests on. Okay.
Oh God.
Okay. Just do it. They'll
It's not that
go
bad,
and watch.
Boots.
They'll go and watch. Okay.
They'll
be
come
there.
into your. Here's what's gonna happen, Boots. They'll flood into the channel. They'll get all the emotes out of the way. They'll get all the copy pasta out of the way. You'll have to listen to Gachi for about 30 minutes, and then they'll go to regular music. It's all good. You just gotta bear it. You just gotta bear it. Just grin and bear it. Bear it up, and then you'll get through it.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's it. You know, Mike2272. He's actually developed a bot for any channel, and it automatically requests Gachimuchi when you do exclamation mark Gachi.
That's what I need.
Yeah,
Oh my
I need
God.
that. But yeah, so expansion coming out. Really excited. Lead specs coming out. That's gonna be good. I don't think I'm gonna make any build videos until the expansion comes out, because I don't know if any of the stuff that's currently in this demo is going to stay necessarily. Like, there's going to be probably some changes before it finally gets released again, and I want some kind of so if I make a build, I want it to have some kind of life term, and not just like, oh, it's only useful for this month, and not even useful because nobody could use the lead spec until it comes out anyway. You know what I mean? So I'm going to wait until they come out. Things are more set in stone a little bit, and I'll make some stuff. It'll be fun.
Yeah.
It'll be fun. Yeah.
Definitely get ready for that. We've got a wide array of Boots videos coming up, and also the streams. Go watch them. Actually, I need to make the bot say something. I kind of forgot because I'm not paying attention.
Say something, bot.
Go, bot! There it is. You can go click those links. Go find these people and watch them on Twitch, guys. Watch on YouTube. And also, we have another person here. It's MMO Inks. He's about to double his character count in the expansion, at least.
Yes.
What are you up to these days, man?
Big news today. So first of all, we hit 3,000 followers on Twitch.
Whoa!
Thank you guys.
That's
Thank
fucking
you guys
hype,
for that.
dude.
Yeah. We also got Twitch
boys.
affiliate. We finally got it.
You got
What have we got, guys? What have we got?
Affiliated.
Are you seeing these emotes, guys? MMO Inc. Timey, guys. Are you guys seeing this? We got a sick emote, boys.
You know what that means, guys?
Cormier.
Give him all the bits. Give him all the bits.
So that was really big news this week for the channel. YouTube has been going really well as well. We've been doing several videos a week. We were doing a video a day. Last week was really brutal IRL. So, but we're still putting out. I'm still putting out a video like every 2 days at least.
Holy
There
shit,
should
dude.
be another one on Monday or Tuesday about weekend impressions and such. And then, of course, we've got Path of Fire coming up on the 22nd. We're in full steam mode right now.
Full hype, dude. Full hype.
Yep. I need to get some more streams in every week because we're only doing 1 or 2 streams a week. So I need to really figure all that stuff out, fit it into the schedule. But it's been going really well. And any of you guys who have come out, thanks very much.
All right. Be sure to check out MMinks. And finally, guys, it's time to follow the stream, okay? We just had a crazy 24-hour stream. We now had a crazy tea time where we broke down literally everything. I feel like all of us here have earned at least a click on that follow button, guys, okay? Hit that follow button. Follow me on Twitter. Don't follow MMWinks. Unfollow him, okay? Don't let him get those follows. Let me get those follows. Okay?
And follow on Twitter.
That's what I want.
Because we're winning.
No.
Winning the war.
That's what I want, guys. It's not about the subs. It's not about the followers on Twitch. I want those Twitter followers, man. I want to just follow twitch.tv/MightyTeapot. You guys, let's go. Get those follows, all right? Okay, but yeah, follow on I was lying, guys. Follow on Twitch, subscribe on YouTube, sub here as well. Get those emotes, guys. We've got emotes too. We've got me and MMWinks. We both got emotes. You could sub to both of us. How about that? That'd be pretty crazy, huh, guys? You can do all that stuff. Watch all the tea times on YouTube. You can go and find them all. Go watch them. But that'll be about it for us, guys. Thanks so much for watching. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the demo as much as we did, because damn, I had a great time. ArenaNet nailed it, boys. They've nailed it. They've really nailed down these lead specs. They're all going to be amazing. A few tweaks need to be made, but that's no problem, man. It's going to be easy. They're going to sort that shit out. So yeah, we'll see you guys around. And yeah, that'll be it for us. Thanks for watching. See you guys later. And also thanks to the Jabeta for the host. I love you, dude. But anyway, you guys have a good day. Watch everything. See you later, my friends.